Hello, everyone, and welcome to Clockwork Cantina, episode 73. Holy shit, dude! You realize how close we are to 100, Daniel? It's like crazy. Um,
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, two away from 75, and then
it's
yeah,
it's 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 crazy. It's nutty.
we're we're
Also,
getting
I'm one of
there,
your
man.
hosts. I'm one of the hosts of the show, Josh902, and this is our other host.
And I'm the other host, DT3. Hello, guys. How you guys doing
Hi.
today?
I hope you're all doing well. Our main topic today is we're doing a character bracket for Star Wars, which I literally minutes ago just sent to Daniel. I don't know if he's
Yeah,
looked at it yet. I haven't looked at. I haven't looked at it.
I
I
I I kind of skimmed through it, but like I'm saving
okay,
the
that's
rest for
fair.
later. I'm just like I
Okay,
want to see what we have here.
I,
But yeah,
I I'm gonna
it's
leave mine as a surprise,
okay.
before I look at
Yeah,
it.
no, yeah, yeah.
I didn't have my eyes shut, but I was over here and I had to click on randomize and was just spam clicking like 100 times. Like I
Trying
was
to like
like, let's make this right. Let's get it 100.
randomize the
Uh,
shit out of it.
so it's super random. But we'll go over that in the second half of the show when we get to it, which we'll probably get to
Yeah.
it pretty quick because it's not.
There will, yeah. Honestly, this might be a shorter episode because there isn't a whole lot of news today, and then
Yeah,
yeah, the bracket is
there's
definitely going to be the thing that you know takes up the most time here. Because yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a slow news week. Like there isn't a whole lot out there to be honest.
And to be honest, I haven't been up to much. I've done like two main things this week. Um, which will lead us into the things that we usually do before we start a show, which is what have we been up to the past week?
Yeah,
Daniel, start us off. What have you been up to the past week?
I I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends. Still. We got like a bunch of people on my Discord that play it, so it's like, all right, who wants to play? And like we always have, there's always like a few people, whether it be like Majin or Juan or Jake or sometimes you even get like Derper joining in, and like we fucking won a game with Derper, man. I was like, Jesus, like we like we're too good at this game, man.
You are. You're all real good. You're all real different. You all have different ways of playing, which is great. You're an
Yeah,
esports team. You're an
yeah,
esports team with alternates.
yeah, we just like swap people in and out on that Apex, man. We're just everybody has the characters they like to play, and like we go out there and we do the thing, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, been playing a lot of that. I played this game on stream called The Silent Age. It's like a point and click type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat. There were some in my chat that once the game ended, they said it was pretty depressing. And I would probably agree with that. The ending is kind of depressing, but I thought it was still a pretty neat like story, for like a point and click game.
Mm-hmm.
So check that out if you're curious. I watched finally the last episode of Invincible because I hadn't, I was again I was sick when it like dropped and I couldn't watch it, and whatever, all the stuff that happens when you're sick and all that. So I checked it out finally. I enjoyed it very much. I finally understood the whole think meme that's been going around everywhere.
Yep.
That was good. Uh, I I I've been binging a lot of I've been binging a lot of Netflix lately. I binged all of Yasuke. Uh, I binged all of Castlevania season 4, and then last night, literally last night, I watched all of Love, Death, and Robots Volume 2. So that's all the Netflix that I've been watching lately. A lot of animation stuff, but it was good. Yeah, Yasuke was kind of weird with the mechs and stuff. I didn't
I
really
was fixing to ask. I was fixing to ask
I
what you thought of the
I didn't
strangeness that was there.
I didn't expect that. It was kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. I
Hmm?
still had fun with it for what it was, but like even like I guess like at the beginning in the first few episodes it's kind of like off-putting, but once you know like okay this is what we're doing, then it's kind of like all right, well you kind of know what to expect because that's if that's what we're doing here, then that's what we're doing here. So yeah, I mean it was all right. I thought it was pretty good for what it was. You know, again, once you realize and know that all right, we're going to be doing all this, it's not going to be, you know, what you think it is, you know, cuz yeah, I mean obviously Yasuke was a real person, and you know, when you see that, you're like, okay, they're going to go a little bit more realistic with this, right? Hell
Mm-hmm.
nah, bro. There's mechs. There's like fucking voodoo magic bullshit in it. It's kind of bonkers. But once you if you're once you get on board with the idea that that's going on, then then you can, you know, you should be able to handle it. Castlevania season 4. I started it from, or I, you know, I binged it from start to finish. Uh, Not all in one night. I think it took me a couple nights to do it.
How many episodes is the new season?
I
Do you know off the top of your
believe
head?
there was, I want to say like 10,
Gotcha.
because I watched like 7 episodes one night, and then I was like, I gotta stop here, and then I watched like the other 4, the, you know, the next, you know, another night. But yeah, I think it was 10 episodes. But I like the way that they wrapped up this show, because season 4 was the last one. And the last episode kind of got me a little. It's a little. It's an emotional episode, that last one,
No,
when they,
that's
you know, when
fair,
they
man.
wrap everything up, man. So
Mm-hmm.
if you've been watching the Castlevania and you're not caught up, or you know, you're planning on watching it, it was, I enjoyed the way that they wrapped it all up. It was pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff in there. The characters, there's some definitely some emotional moments there for quite a few of them. Definitely recommend the Castlevania anime or animation, how, you know, whatever you want to consider it, on Netflix. Very good. It's kind of a bummer that it's over now, because it was so good. But yeah, I mean, I like the way that they wrapped it all up, so I approve of that. And then Love, Death, and Robots, man. I liked most of the episodes. There's probably a few that I was like, all right, like these are kind of like, I didn't. They were okay, but like comparative to some of the other ones, like there was some of these episodes where I'm like, dude, this looks like a fucking video game, or this looks live action. Like, it looks great, man. Like, what I love about this show is that there's so many different animation styles, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the first episode's animation was weird as fuck, but the premise of it was kind of funny. But like each episode is different with its own style and everything, and yeah, I overall I would say I enjoyed it. There were just some more, you know, you know, a few episodes that I enjoyed more than others. I will say though that I was kind of disappointed that this season only had 8 episodes, because the first season had 18. So when you go from 18 episodes to 8, you know, you're losing 10. It's like, man, like, what happened? Uh, but you know, it is what it is. At least we won't have to wait as long for the next season. The next season will be next year. I think season 1 for this show was like, what, 2019 or something. I forget. Time is a thing that since last year has been wonky. But yeah, no, I enjoyed Love, Death, and Robots. Even though there was some episodes that I enjoyed more than others. I definitely would recommend to all of you who are listening or watching to check that show out, because it's like, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before on this show with Josh, but like there are some episodes of that damn show that you could like spin off and create like like a movie, or a whole different show, or like they're just that cool. Like it's pretty bonkers. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts, Josh, on some of the episodes of this season, because there's a few where I'm like, that's, you could make that into like a video game, or like another show or something. You know, like
Yeah, I need to go watch it. I need to check it out.
it's pretty
Actually,
cool. Yeah,
I didn't even realize it was out until I joined voice chat with you guys and you were talking about it, and I was like, or not talking about like the episodes, but like that it was out. And I was like, I didn't even realize this was coming out because I'm really bad at remembering dates and times for things.
I think
Uh,
it came out on Friday or Thursday or Friday, one of these days. But yeah, it's out. I watched all of it. It's only 8 episodes, and they're all like under 20 minutes. So
mm-hmm.
you can you can watch
Knock it
them in like no time at all, really. Snow in the Desert was really good. Look, that was one of my favorite ones for sure.
out.
Uh, but yeah, there was some good stuff in that. And then of course I watched the latest episode of The Bad Batch. I watch that every week. We'll definitely be talking more about The Bad Batch in detail. Once the entire season is over, we'll do a whole episode on that. That'll be fun. Since we're talking Star Wars today.
Yeah.
And then I started playing this game called Enlisted. It's like a free to play World War II squad based, FPS type dealio. I've been having fun with it. It's pretty cool. Like it's kind of like weird at the beginning because it's like a squad based thing, and you're gonna like maybe it takes like a little bit to like get used to, but like once you get the hang of it, it's really fun. I've been playing it in voice chat, and people just hear me shoot Nazis and shit. Like it's great, man. Um, but yeah, that's fun. Free to play. The only downside to that game is that it's not on Steam or anything. Like you have to like download it from the website or whatever. But I mean, it's a game that's in beta and whatever. Maybe they'll put it on Steam or something eventually. And then finally, the big one, Mass Effect: The Legendary Edition is out.
Yes, it is.
Both Josh and I have been playing it. Uh, I have like six. Let me check Steam. I think it's like 6.3 hours. Yeah, 6.3. I have a total right now, as of this podcast, 6.3 hours into the first game, and I am having a great time with it so far. It's really cool. It's really fun. I'm digging the all of the companions. I was telling Josh this the other day in voice chat. I was kind of bummed that you can only carry two companions with you at a time. I want to have the whole party with me, man, because I like most of the companions. Like they're all pretty cool. Like I wish I could like have them all together and like they could interact and talk to each other and stuff. Because they all seem pretty cool. Like there isn't any of them that I hate. I think Karth. I mean, well, that's not his name. Caden, I think is his name, right?
Yeah, Caden
I think
Alenko.
I think Caden's probably the most boring out of all of them. Um, but like I don't hate him. Like I call him Karth because for those of you who are unaware, the voice actor for Caden in Mass Effect is the same guy who did the voice for Carth Onasi in Knights of the Republic. So if you've been watching my playthrough or you hear me call him Carth, that's why I just call him Carth all the time. But yeah, I've been playing Mass Effect for the very first time. I've never played it before. Um, created my own Shepherd. I ended up using my own first name for the character. I didn't want to do it, but I was like, I can't think of another name, so I'm pretty bad with coming up with names anyway. So I just went with my own first name for that. Um, and yeah, we created our character, and we're good to go, man. I'm 6 hours into it. I finished the planet of was it Noveria, Novine,
Yeah,
no
you got it.
Noveria.
Novaria.
That's the first thing I did because uh
Oh shit! I
um
forgot to turn that off. Sorry about that.
the Mortal
Uh,
Kombat
I
spoilers. Yeah,
I forgot to
apologies.
take the text off.
If you're watching the video here, we are not talking about Mortal Kombat. We did that last time.
That was last time. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Uh. Anyway, yeah. Back to Mass Effect. I finished the Planet of Noveria. I dealt with the bug people and Lady Benezia. Um, that was pretty fun. Next up, we're we're currently on the Citadel because we're gonna meet somebody there, and then after that, we're gonna go to the dig site and meet Doctor Liara, which I have not met yet. So we're gonna that'll be next time, which will be tomorrow. on Tuesday. I'll be playing. I'll be playing tomorrow. So check that out. But anyway, yeah, I've been having really fun, a lot of fun with Mass Effect. I think the controls and all that stuff has been fine. The only really thing that was kind of weird to me was the space button, which default has you running, and I'm just not used to running with spacebar in games, so I had to swap it with my left shift, and so now I run with left shift, and I uh, swap my weapons and all that combat stuff with the by holding spacebar, which I think works better for me. Um, but no, I'm enjoying the story so far. Like I said, I'm liking the characters. I think I thought the council sucked at the beginning. But they're little by little they're seeing the reason. We're doing things, and we're a specter, and then it's been fun, man. Even just like talking to the random characters, like when you go to a new planet or something, has been pretty neat.
So I thought it was funny you went to Novaria first, which just has every asshole in the game on
Oh
because
my
everybody's a jerk
god.
there.
Yeah, I so what happened, a quick little thing is, um you, after they give you the freedom to go to any planet, because they give you like multiple options, right? They're like, either here you can either go here, you can go here, or you can go to this dig site with the doctor, right? Dr. Liara. So I was like, okay, well, I've heard so much about this Liara lady, I want to go there. um but I looked at the map, and I like clicked on the region where she was, but like it didn't like tell me where to go exactly, so I didn't know where to go. So then I backed out and I went to one of the other ones, and it just so happened to be Novaria. And I arrived there, and everybody's a fucking asshole. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like even the security ladies, man, which I thought like, you know, ultimately, like, well, I'm not gonna say any spoilers, but like, if you want to know what happens, like, check out my playthrough. It should either be up on YouTube already, or it will be up. But yeah, there's some stuff going on with there, and then like the the main dude, what's his name? Aloeus or something like that. I forget his name.
uh,
Starts with an A.
uh, yeah,
He's
I can't think of what it is.
Yeah, that guy's a fucking asshole too, dude. Like,
The
damn.
Solar, he's a Solarian guy, a lizard bro.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck this dude, man. And then like, just everybody has an attitude, man. I'm like, the fuck, bro. But no, we finished that planet. We're completely done with that. It was another thing that kind of like, I don't want to say surprises me, but like I just didn't expect, I guess, because it's an older game. Is like for there to be like all these different areas you can like explore. But I mean, again, I shouldn't be surprised because like KOTOR was kind of the same thing, and that's a 2003 game, you know. Like you have these maps, and you can go like either here or there, or here, and there's all these doors and different areas you can go to and stuff. So I don't know. I just thought it was pretty cool, and yeah,
For
I mean it just.
its
Go
time
ahead.
frame, the game's actually pretty huge. Like there's more than just like the main story missions. Like you can you go into the galaxy map, right?
Yeah.
And any planet you go to has information on it. Um, some of them you can land on and explore. Some of them you can do surveys and get more information that way. Like the game is pretty like for its day when it came out, there was a lot to do.
Yeah, I'm sure that when it came out, people. I mean, I'm sure that's why everybody loves the series now, because when that first game came out, I'm sure it must have been pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so far I've been enjoying it quite a bit. I'm only 6 hours into it, but we'll be playing some more again tomorrow. Um, I have videos going up, of my playthrough up on the YouTubes, so check that out. Um, take a look at that. I currently have, I think, two of them up, but there should be a third one going up today at some point. And then yeah, I mean they'll just be going up, so check that out, because I'm gonna be putting up my playthrough there. I know Josh is doing the same.
I am.
But I'll let him talk about that when he gets to his part of the what we're doing. I feel like I've talked enough for this what we've been up to this past week. That's pretty much what I've been up to is been binging Netflix and playing Mass Effect and playing some of the other stuff that I talked about. Um, but yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'll let Josh talk about what he's been up to.
So I have been up to a few things. I've been the first thing is you guys are gonna see me looking over here a lot more because I got a third monitor now, which is
Yes, third monitor gang.
so nice because now when Daniel's talking, it looks like I'm looking at him, but what I'm actually looking at is you guys. I'm looking at chat and Twitch chat, so I can actually respond quicker than I could before because I used to have the Twitch chat in the main thing, and then I'd have all my info here, and then I had Daniel over here. So now I can look at you, have Daniel, and have all our info. It's really nice. It makes for me not having to kind of plop around as much. So it's really nice. Like, yeah, I am watching you, Loki. I saw you type that. And so that's one thing. And I kind of redid the setup. I got actual like how do you say it, the Visa or how do you say them, the monitor stands that go on the back. I have a lot more room just on the desktop now. So I got a lot more room for my junk. Um,
For my stuff.
for my stuff. Another reason I wanted a third monitor is that it's going to make it easier when I get back to Spider-Man and playing stuff on the PlayStation. That I can just I
Mm.
can have a dedicated monitor to that now instead of just having to kind of fiddle and have one monitor and try to stream and it be a pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was nice. More Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've been binging the absolute shit out of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's a lot of fun. Um, I'm up to season 6. I'm on episode 2 of season 6. I've been moving through it the last couple of weeks. That's why I don't have a lot on what I've been up to, because all I've been up to is watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine or playing Mass
Mass
Effect,
Effect. Yeah.
which I'm streaming again, guys. I for weeks,
Yeah. Josh has been streaming.
for many moons, I've been saying on Cantina, "Hey, I might stream. Hey, I might stream. Hey, I might stream." And it finally happened. I've streamed 3 days in a row, just about. Um, and it's all Mass Effect. Yay, Mass Effect. I have 15 hours of Mass Effect, apparently, which I was surprised that I had that much, because it doesn't feel like I should have that much. Because I played all 3 games before when they came out, and I love the franchise so much. So when I play them, it doesn't even. Yeah, I will probably stream after this. Um, when I play them, it's just so much fun, and I have a blast of and seeing all those old characters and storylines and stuff again. That it just goes by so quick to me because I'm having so much fun and enjoying it so much. Um, I haven't done a lot of the main story stuff. I've been doing a lot of side stuff. I've been scanning a lot of planets and doing those scoutings and stuff like that. So it's good to get back into it. I love Mass Effect. Um, the other thing is I scheduled myself for the vaccine tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to go and get my 5G upgrade tomorrow. I scheduled
That's,
myself and my mom, so we have
it'll
to
be
be the first 2 to get
your
it.
it'll be your first one, right?
It'll be the first one for me, yes.
Yeah.
The only reason I hadn't done it earlier is because I haven't been anywhere. Like I've literally just stayed home like ever since they started doing vaccinations.
Mhm.
So I haven't felt like the super urge to go get one, but now that things are kind of easing up a bit here, and it's easier to get them a little bit now too, I'm gonna go and get mine, and I scheduled my mom. She's gonna go with me to get hers, and then later on, hopefully, my dad and nephew will be able to get theirs. Uh, but since we would do it all at once, except the vehicle is only big enough for 2 people at a time. We drive a truck, so um other than that, I think that's all I've been up to. I haven't watched a lot of anything but Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so uh, and play
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
Hell yeah for getting vaxxed tomorrow, man.
Hell yeah! And if you're watching this and you haven't, you should go get you should go get it as soon as you can,
Absolutely.
as soon as it's available to you. If that's all we have for the what we've been up to, which I think it is for me,
Mm-hmm.
we can move into the news, which there's not a whole lot of, so we'll get through it pretty quick. Um, Daniel, if you want to
Yeah.
start us off.
we're definitely gonna get through these pretty quickly. So let us begin. First off, you remember that pirate game that Ubisoft was working on that we've talked about in the past here, Skull and Bones.
It's funny that we were talking about it the other day, and then this
Yeah,
info came out,
we
huh?
were just talking about it, and it's been delayed to 2022. Skull and Bones is sailing through rough waters again. In an earnings report, Ubisoft revealed that the game had been delayed to next year. They wrote in its report that Skull and Bones will now be released in 2022-23. Uh, this is apparently the fourth delay for this game. Uh, it was originally announced at E3 2017
Jesus Christ.
with a 2018 release. Can you believe that? It was supposed to be released in 2018. And as that crept closer, Ubisoft delayed it to 2019, 2020, 2021, and now they delayed it to 2022. So it was supposed to come out like 3 years ago, and it's coming out next year now apparently.
I am so
Uh,
curious as to what the hell is going on with this thing that they have delayed it that much in
I
that
don't
amount of
know.
time.
All I can say is I remember, I guess at E3 2017, when they announced it, I was like, "Yo, this looks fucking awesome." And they said, "Oh, you can sign up for the beta or whatever." I signed up for the beta like during that E3 or after the E3 or whatever, and like I still haven't seen like anything from this game, because obviously they've been delaying it every year. Uh, but Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot said that multiple studios have been bolstering Ubisoft Singapore's development of the game. Uh, Both Guillemot and Frederick Duguay, who is the CFO, spoke optimistically about Skull and Bones' new release window. And here's a quote. Production, led by Ubisoft Singapore, has been advancing well over the past 12 months, and the promise is better than ever, Duguay said during the call. The additional time will allow the team to fully deliver on its vision. In September 2020, Elizabeth Pellin, creative director for Skull and Bones, wrote that the delays have been due to a new vision for the game. Uh, in November 2020, Kotaku, which this is the article which I'm reading this from, learned that Ubisoft Singapore's managing director, Hughes Ricor, had been removed from his position after a leadership audit during the company's reckoning with issues of sexual harassment and workplace misconduct. So yeah, that was the thing that happened. Yeah, with Ubisoft, I remember that.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's what's been going on with Skull and Bones, and like it was such a simple premise for this game, right? Like people love the ship combat and in Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, and they just wanted them to make a fucking pirate game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like years later, it still is not out yet. It's kind of crazy, but apparently all these delays have been because they have a new vision for it. So we'll see if that new vision was worth it or not when it comes out next year, I guess.
So basically, the game we saw at E3 does not exist anymore. Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
mean,
getting from all these delays. Like what we saw when
probably,
they
yeah,
first announced
most
it
likely.
is not at all what it is now. I saw somebody
Whenever,
say, I think on Drop Frames, they said like what they saw. What happened was is like they announced the game, and then like Sea of Thieves came out and was like, oh, we have to go back to the drawing board. But like all these years later, there's no way it could be that. You could have took the time to develop an entire new game, which is what probably Skull and Bones did. Was like they're an entire new game now than what they were before. It's crazy.
yeah, it's so that's what's been going on with that because I also been wondering like what's going on with this game because we just
Hmm.
hadn't heard about it in like such a long time. Um, but yeah, there's your little Skull and Bones update. Whenever they're ready to show us what the hell this new vision of this game looks like, I'm gonna be very curious because what they had shown us before looked very interesting to me. So I don't know
Hmm.
if like it's gonna be the same, or I mean, obviously, well, it's not gonna be the same. We know that, but I wonder, like, what I meant to say was how much of the same of that old vision they're gonna keep, and how much of it is like completely new, you know?
Hmm.
So yeah, I then we shall see, we shall see. Um, but yeah, well, we can move on if you're good with
Yeah,
that.
let's hit it.
Let's talk about these new PS5 controllers that everyone's gonna want. They're releasing uh a midnight black controller and a cosmic red for the dual sense controllers here for the PS5. Um, Now we know what a all if they had released an all black PS5, now we know what that controller would look like. There it is. Uh, and then there's the cosmic red, which I think is kind of cool, but part of me is like they probably should have just made the bottom part red too, no? Or do you like the black and red?
It doesn't bother me. I feel like if the bottom part's red, it might just be too much. It might be like just too bright. So I kind of like the black being there
I got you.
personally. Just
Yeah.
because I feel like if it is, it just might be too. I don't know. It might just. It's just. It'll scream at you. You know what I mean? Like it's just too loud.
Yeah,
Too
yeah,
loud.
yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Gotcha, gotcha.
But here's the all black one. I'll throw that up here. That looks nice. That looks slick. Uh,
Yeah, there it is. I think the all black one looks fantastic. I mean, I usually like black, electronics anyway. So
be like Batman. Does it come in black?
yeah, exactly. That's usually me like I remember. Do you remember when the Nintendo Wii was the thing? They had
Mm-hmm.
they had came out with an all black one. I was like, that's the one I want. Like the white one's cool and all, but that's the normal one. I want the all black one. You know what I mean? I never did get it, but like if you know if I could have gotten it at the time, I would have definitely gone for that black one. There's the cosmic red. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I think they both look good. I mean, for like these are like the first like different colors for the dual sense controls, right?
The first of many.
Because yeah, I mean, PlayStation usually does this. They're like, all right, here's your normal controller, and then like after a while, here's like a couple other colors, and then like every year they release like a couple of a few more colors to add on to stuff. My issue has always been like I know for like the PS4 era, there wasn't ever really a controller that like a different color that I wanted, other than at one point there was like a anniversary for I forget which milestone it was, but let me see. Dual Shock 4. They came out like a PlayStation 1 version of the Dual Shock 4 controller.
Mm-hmm.
The 20th anniversary for PlayStation. I remember seeing that and I was like, I fucking want that thing, man. I'll post a picture of it. Let's see. I'll post it in the chat. So for those of you who are watching live, you can check out this controller here. I remember when they came out with this and I was like, I want that so bad because it was basically like a PS1 controller color scheme on the PS4 controller. And I was like, man, that looks so sick. I want that thing, dude. I never got it. And of course, obviously now if you try to buy it nowadays, it's like super expensive.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, that's the one I want if I'm gonna be getting a different PS4 controller. Because some of the other color schemes just didn't work for me. They had like I'll be honest, I'm usually not a fan of camo. So like when I see like the whole here's a camo controller, I'm like, all right, that's not really my kind of thing. But
They have. So I worked at Best Buy for a little bit, and they had every color camo you could fucking want, and I was just sitting there thinking, I hate these. I don't like them at all.
yeah,
I don't
like
like the
camo.
camo.
I like camo. Like you guys will occasionally see me with like a camo headband on and stuff. That's the kind of camo I like for like a headband or something like that. Not for a controller, dude.
I'm
The
trying to
hell am I?
find it, not lose it, man. What the
Am I gonna go play
heck?
my PlayStation in the jungle or some shit? Like, what you mean, man? Like, what's going on here? So there was always like a few like different color combinations where I'm just like, I don't really care, man, about that color. And then, you know, so it's cool that like you know for the dual or the dual. I'm sorry, the dual sense. That's what the PS5 controllers are called, the dual sense controllers. That they have released these two color schemes because I think they're cool. Like I mean, again, black, you know, classic. You know, everybody. If they ever release I mean, I'm sure they will. They'll release like a all black PS5. You know, you'll have that to go with it. And then
Hmm.
yeah, the cosmic red is I think it's a pretty cool color. I don't mind that. I usually like red to me is one of those colors where it's like I don't like it's not my favorite color, but I don't like I mean I don't hate it, but it's just like all right, like red, you know, it's like it's a very like overused common color, you know, that everybody likes. But this particular, as they call it, cosmic red, isn't really like, you know, the usual like bright ass, you know, like stop sign red that you would think of, right? So I kind of like this shade of red that they went with for this cosmic controller here. So I dig that. I like them both. I don't have a PS5 yet. So I don't have a dual. I don't even have a normal dual sense controller or anything. But I think if I did have a PS5, I think you could go with either one of these two options and be good because I think they both look good. So
Hmm.
yeah, I like them. I dig them.
Yeah, I can't get my hands on a PS5 either. I've been like,
Uh,
I'll join the queues and stuff when they're up, but like, yeah, I'm not getting any luck.
there's gonna be delays like fucking until next year, you know, because you know
Hmm.
everything going on right now. So the availability for PS5s are gonna be a little difficult until yeah, I guess probably at least next year. So
Which
anyway,
I'm not in a super hurry to get one. Yeah, I'd like one eventually, but
yeah,
I'm not like,
yeah, exactly. Like I would love to have one now, but like like, besides like the Miles Morales game, there isn't like at least right now there isn't like a whole lot that I'm dying to play. You know.
yeah,
Like eventually, like I would like to play that Kina game that's coming out soon, and like you know Horizon 2 when that comes out, and a bunch of other you know, once more things start coming out. But we're talking if we're strictly talking about right now, the Miles Morales game is really the only one where I'm like, that's the one I want to play.
yeah.
But yeah, and
I
then of
do.
course, oh go ahead,
Oh,
Josh.
sorry. I was just gonna say, I do hope that they add more of the PC games, add more of like the DualSense stuff. So if you do play with the PS5 controller, you can try out
Oh,
those
like
triggers and all
the
that.
haptic feedback and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember some people were playing Returnal and they were like, "Yeah, it's raining," and it feels like it's raining because you can feel it on your hands. Like when rain hits your
Mhm.
character in Returnal, you can feel it with the haptic feedback. Or
That's
when you're
that's
like squeezing a trigger, it's harder to squeeze something. Like some people thought their controllers were broken or something, like because they didn't realize that it would
hmm.
do that. And thought they had like spilled like soda or something in their controller because it felt sticky, but it wasn't like that. It was like the controllers to the PS5 is cool and all, but it seems to me like the DualSense controllers are the coolest part of it with the haptic feedback and all that stuff. So I hope
I've
more.
heard it. Yeah, when the PS5s first came out, I heard a lot about the haptic feedback and all that stuff. Yeah, like how good it was for certain games and whatnot. So I
Yeah,
mean, and like we're still like really early on in this generation, so I mean they're gonna keep you know doing cool shit with that. You know, so that'll be interesting to see.
yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
All right, if
and
that's
then
all we have on the
well,
controllers. Oh,
the only other thing I was gonna say is you could like if these colors aren't your thing, you can always go to a website like Colorware or whatever where you can create, you know, customize your own, but that's gonna run you a bit more than what these will, you know.
yeah, it's
But hey
some
man,
money.
if you want your own color scheme or whatever, then there you go. You have options. Uh so yeah, that's all I was gonna say though.
Hell yeah. What is next, Daniel?
The next thing that we have here is something that actually dropped today.
Yeah, I heard about this a little bit.
Yeah, well, we can go ahead and talk about this here uh for a bit because Twitch is going to be adjusting sub prices based off of where viewers live. Uh so over here in the United States, it'll cost you like what, $4.99, $5 for a tier 1 sub. Uh but starting this week, beginning with Mexico and Turkey, Twitch will begin adjusting subscriber costs to better align with the local cost of living. Uh, Europe's rate is 50% lower. Latin America's rate is 80% lower. Twitch attributes these lower rates to the difference between the US dollar and other currencies. It's going to start adjusting sub rates to make prices more appealing for specific countries. Starting on May 20th, which is only a couple days away at the time of this, uh, the subscription price in Mexico will be 48 pesos, which is roughly $2.42 American or US. In Turkey, a sub will cost 9.99 Turkish lira or $1.19 US. Uh, these lowered prices should make the idea of viewers in those countries supporting creators much more attractive. The obvious downside is that creators with large subscription bases in the affected countries will be taking an income hit from the lowered subscription costs. Twitch is hoping to smooth the transition by offering 3 months of calculated incentive payments to offset the potential loss. The idea is that eventually the lower prices will mean more subscribers and the whole thing will even out. So that's kind of their thinking on it. But yeah, man, I think that this whole or like yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna take a hit for this, man. It's gonna
Hmm.
be yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this you know uh affects some of the like bigger streamers and like just what like how um again, I mean, just to see how what kind of difference this will make, from current, because like it's gonna be quite a difference, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I
So yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'll let you speak on it, because it's interesting to say the least.
yeah, I think ultimately it's probably going to be a good thing. Um but to be honest with you, I don't know enough about how all this works and how it'll be calculated and all that rigmarole. That's like above my pay grade, really. Um, but it seems to be something that a lot of people are happy about. A lot of like viewers are happy about because it's easier for some people to be able to sub. Um, but I'm kind of like on a wait and see how this works out kind of deal as they slowly roll it out to see how it affects things. And that's
Mhm.
ultimately all I really know about it, to be honest. Because yeah, be interesting. Uh,
I
and
mean,
I
yeah,
wasn't
to say the
expecting it
least,
either.
man.
Like I didn't realize this was something that they were working on. So uh,
I mean, I feel like it just came up out of nowhere today, you know?
yeah, it kind
Like,
of it did.
uh,
So yeah,
yeah, it'll definitely be one of those wait and see type things. Cause yeah, I don't know, man. We shall see, we shall see.
yeah.
But yeah, you got any other gaming news, Josh, that you want to talk about today?
Let me look through just the Reddit dealio, just to see if there's anything here. LA Noir turned 10 years old, so I know we've talked about that game previously. That's pretty
Oh yeah,
cool.
dude! Happy birthday, LA Noir! I love that game.
Uh-huh. Me too.
That
Also,
game's
happy
awesome.
birthday to Terraria, which is also celebrating its 10th anniversary.
Which I believe it was on sale for like $5 the other day or something.
That game is always on sale and it's totally worth the price if you guys have never played it. It's a lot of fun. Um, do, 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 do. I want to see if there was any. What was that? Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. I wanted to see if there were what the concurrent numbers were for Mass Effect because I kept hearing that they were high on Steam. Mass Effect
I mean, just about everybody was playing it, huh?
concurrent players. Have a look see here. Mass Effect Legendary Edition hits highest Steam concurrent players for a BioWare game.
Mm.
Um, according to this article over here on PC Gamers or PC Gamer. Um, the remaster trilogy is the #1 trending game on Steam DB right now, reaching a peak concurrent player count of 59,817 on Sunday, which was yesterday. This marks the highest concurrent players on Steam for any BioWare game. It is also the second highest concurrent player count for any EA game on Steam, only beaten by Apex Legends. Um, but yeah, um, that's pretty interesting. A lot of people are going back and checking it out again, which is awesome. And I guess it's about it really, uh,
Yeah.
in terms of news. It's been a slow past week.
It really has been. There's not a whole lot for like TV. I only have like one thing for the TV news, to be honest.
Yes, that's cool. Let's move on.
So TV news, let's talk about it. We have our first look finally at Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe reboot for Netflix.
Let's get that open.
And I think this show looks fucking awesome.
Hell
They have
yeah!
they released some images and
Have them up on screen now.
I think it looks great. You got your He-Man right there. You got your Skeletor there down below. Then you got a shot of them uh crossing the weapons there, and
Clash.
I like the style of it. It reminds me of the 2002 version.
Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of photos in here, huh?
Yeah, they got Moss Man, and you got Orko, Tila, Evil Lyn down there. Yeah, man, it looks cool. I can't wait, man. This is
Same.
I I'm a pretty big into He-Man. Let me see if we can. For those of you watching the stream, I got my He-Man shirt on. Yeah. Uh anyway,
That's
for those of
cool.
you listening on the audio versions, I'm wearing a He-Man shirt today. That's all.
Hell yeah.
Um yeah, it looks good. It'll be releasing on June 23rd, so we're about a month away. About a month away. That's very exciting. I can't wait to
Is it
watch this. I don't know how many episodes it is.
is it June or July? It says here July 23rd.
Oh yeah, you're right. July. 2 months away. My bad.
Gotcha.
My bad. My bad. July.
I didn't
So
know if it
we're
was an error in the article or not.
no. My error. July 23rd. So we're 2 months away. Which time flies by. So it
If
won't
that's
be
closer than you think, it'll be here
in,
before you know
in,
it.
indeed. I'm looking forward to seeing a trailer whenever that comes out because
Should be
Netflix.
one very soon, huh?
Yeah, I think we'll probably be getting one here soonish, and you bet we'll definitely talk about it here on the show.
I'm sure
But
Daniel will do
yeah,
a reaction for that.
I mean maybe. Well, yeah, we have. Yeah, these images look good though. I like the animation style that they went with. I like the voice cast, man. If you guys don't know the voice cast, look it up because it's pretty great. but I'll give you one away for free. Mark Hamill is gonna be Skeletor. There you go.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, it's man, I can't wait, dude. It's gonna be great. But yeah, that's pretty much our TV news. Do you see anything else, Josh, that we should be talking about? It's a very slow news week. I'm sorry, everyone. It's
It's cool, man. It happens. You know.
there
Let's
isn't.
see
I,
here.
I I like literally like before I went to sleep last night. I like looked up more. I tried looking up more things, but I'm just like, man, there isn't unless you want to talk about fucking the Ellen DeGeneres show ending next year or fucking I'm what else we got here? Uh fucking the more casting news for the for the fucking was it god damn it, why am I blanking out? The Tiger King guy show, the Joe Exotic show, the more casting news on that or fucking
Oh God.
that's really like what's been going on like the past week. Like there hasn't really been like news like you know for stuff that we would talk about really, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Um,
So yeah, I mean there isn't really a whole
the
lot
WandaVision won 4 golden popcorns at the
at
MTV
the
Movie and
MTV
TV
Awards.
Awards. So that's pretty. I mean, that's cool. We like Marvel stuff, so
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Congrats,
that's congrats
congrats,
to those
guys.
guys. I guess we could mention that really quick. Um,
Yeah.
there's an article on here about the Grizzly live action gargoyles. It almost was, but I'll read that in my own time. Uh, I'm a big fan of gargoyles, and I hope they bring it back some way because I was always a big fan of that show.
Speaking of
Other
gargoyles,
than
shout out.
that, there's not shit in terms of
Yeah,
news.
no, there isn't. Speaking of WandaVision, or not WandaVision, speaking of gargoyles, though, shout out to Keith David, man, Mass Effect.
Yeah, Mr. Anderson always talk like
Yeah,
fucking Agent Smith from The Matrix whenever he's around. Uh,
Mr. Anderson.
welcome back.
Man.
We miss you.
Oh man, breaking news, dude! As of 4 hours ago, the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon has been renewed for 5 more years. There you go. There's more TV news for you.
I don't watch any of that stuff. I never watched.
You don't watch talk shows and shit like that,
No, I
or
never
like
watched. If there was like an interview on it for somebody I wanted to see, I might watch it one time to see the interview.
mhm.
But like, I'm not somebody that. But it's funny, like growing up in the '90s and even before that with Carson and not like that shit used to be huge. People would always have on those
Oh yeah.
uh shows, those and then remember all the drama that happened with like Conan O'Brien and fucking all those guys and like he ended up going to TBS and all that stuff. That shit was all crazy. And I literally gave no fucks about it and I still don't. You know? Like
I'm kind of like you. I just like whenever there's like somebody on that I want to watch or whatever, I'll just like YouTube it or something. Like the other day, Ewan McGregor was on was it Jimmy Kimmel, and they were talking about Kenobi, and like in the background you see like the episode 2 and episode 3 posters in the background because he's filming the Kenobi show right now, right?
mhm.
And he kind of talked about it a little bit, so about the show and how it's going and like how his outfit is going to be different than you would expect or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, you get a little bit of tidbits out of him there. So it's
Yeah.
cool to watch stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really watch that stuff either, to be honest. But anyway, I guess that's it for the TV news. Then it was a quicker week again for that because yeah, I mean it's just a one of those weeks where it's just slow as hell. Fortunately for you guys, however, we do have a few things for the movie news.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off with the trailer here for The Green Knight.
I'm excited for this movie. I was excited for it originally, and I'm excited for
I
it now.
I was looking, I was digging it as well. Before when they first saw the teaser, I believe, or something for it, or I mean, yeah, and I mean this trailer looks sick, dude. Like I'm about it. I'm looking forward to this. Is this seems like it's gonna be good.
The thing
That
I'm
def.
getting out of this trailer is that they're embracing the weird that is the
Oh
King
yeah,
Arthur story,
yeah.
Arthurian legends, because like people, you always get the sword and Arthur and
Good.
just all the big
Yeah.
fantasy crap, but they throw out a lot of the weirdness to appeal to like a wider audience. But
Mhm.
if you go and read those stories, that shit is fucking weird. The Green Knight one is super weird. Um,
It looks like they're like you said, they're feeding into that here, man, in this
uh
trailer.
huh. Which who's all
Looks
in
good
this
though, dude. Like
movie?
I dig it. Like I'm digging what we're seeing here. It looks pretty great.
So this was supposed to come out last year, but because of COVID, it got pushed.
Yeah.
Um, so you have Dev Patel in here, Alicia Vikander's in here,
Hmm.
Joel Edgerton's in here, Sean
Solid cast.
Harris. Like, it's a pretty good cast. Um, Aaron Kellyman, which you will know from
Solo and
Falcon Carly.
Falcon Winter Soldier. Yep.
Yeah, Morgan Thau is in here.
Morgan
Um,
Fowl.
yeah, exactly. So
Dude,
I this looks
you, you
cool.
you got the talking fox, bro. Like, come on.
So, yeah, when I saw that fox, I immediately thought of Ghost of Tsushima. I was like, follow it
Yeah,
to
me
the
too,
shrine.
right? Follow it to the shrine. Do it. You gotta get the collectible. Oh shit, that's too funny, man.
uh, but yeah, the very basic story of this is the Green Knight, which is the big green dude, obviously, uh,
Yes.
creature looking guy, comes to King Arthur's like court and dares like one of the knights to lay a to draw a strike against him, and if he doesn't kill him in 1 year, he gets like a strike back. And what happens is Sir God, I think it's is it Gawain that does this? Oh, it's been a while since I've can't remember. Let me look really quick. So yeah, Sir Gawain, which is played by Dev Patel in the movie, is obviously the one that is going to strike the blow. And in the story, he lands the blow, and you see it here. The Green Knight lifts up his head and starts talking.
Yeah, they show
Um,
you in the trailer. Yeah.
yeah. So in the story, like 1 year from that day, uh, they're gonna have like a fight or a duel or a returning of the blows.
Yeah.
Um, I it looks like a trippy movie. It looks beautiful. Like I love all the everything I saw looks great. I'm super into it, and a lot of us are super into it. Like
Yeah, I'm super into it. I'm looking forward to this movie for sure.
looks super interesting. I can't wait to see it, and I'm really glad they're embracing the weird that is Arthurian legend. Sometimes in those stories, so hyped and excited for that.
Mm-hmm. Looks good, man.
And I hope they do more of it. I really do. Like more of those stories. Big big fan, King Arthur. What do we got next, Daniel?
Are you a big fan of either Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Metalocalypse, or the Venture Brothers, Josh?
I've never watched any of them.
Oh man, okay. Well, they're all getting movies. All these shows are getting movies. So I used to watch all of these because I used to watch quite a bit of Adult Swim back in the day, and all three of these shows were Adult Swim shows. I watched all three of them. They were all I enjoyed them all in their own ways. They were all fun. Uh, but yeah, they're all getting feature length films. Adult Swim announced. They'll be released on Blu-ray and VOD or VOD. My bad. And then 90 days later, they'll premiere on HBO Max and Adult Swim. Um,
I just remember them advertising a lot on Adult Swim, and I
mhm.
don't really. And like I had a friend that's their gamer tag was Meatwad, and
Meanwhile,
I know the names, and I'm like I should tell to do the bracelet, but like
yeah,
I'm not. I super don't know anything about any of it. I just remember the Meatwad
yeah.
voice from
Me,
the
me,
series.
Meanwhile's a funny little dude. Yeah.
But I know the Venture Bros has been highly praised by folks.
Hmm. Like I said, I enjoy all three of those shows, man. Like in their own ways, they're all fun and entertaining and a good
I'll
time.
probably check them out at some point. You know, it's just like I just
Yeah.
never think about it. To be honest with you, it's not like I didn't want to watch them or anything.
No, I
I
got you.
just didn't. Mm.
Yeah, that's me with other things, but I just Uh, but yeah, they're all getting movies. So if you're a fan
That's cool.
of any of these or all three of these, like I am, then yeah, that's pretty exciting. Like I said,
Hmm.
they'll be released on Blu-ray and VOD first, and then 90 days later they'll be on HBO Max and Adult Swim. So that's pretty cool. Um, they have little like descriptions and like things on them, but we'll if you want to look that up, check that out yourselves. Um, yeah, we can move on.
Let's do it.
Uh, Free Guy and Shang-Chi are getting exclusive theatrical releases, which sounds weird. Uh, but let's get into this here. So
Mm-hmm.
Disney CEO Bob Chapek confirmed that each uh, will play for 45 days in theaters before any streaming debut in the home. We're in weird times, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
But with a box office recovery in sight, 20th Century's Free Guy and Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings are among the Disney event titles that will have exclusive theatrical releases versus getting a hybrid release on Disney Plus. So what I get from this is like, all right, they're seeing that everyone is getting the vaccine, and things are looking better than they used to be. So they're like, all right, people are gonna probably start going back to theaters, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let's experiment having these movies in theaters for 45 days before we throw them on the Disney Plus or whatever, right? So like just like they did Mulan as an experiment for Disney Plus, you know, uh they're going to try this again to see if people are actually going to be going out to theaters again. So I mean, I guess it makes sense, like all right, things are looking a little better, so let's see if, theaters are the way to go again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bob Chapek confirmed the news during a earnings call. Free Guy will be hitting theaters on August 13, and then Shang-Chi will be September 3rd. Both will have 45-day exclusive runs in the cinema. Uh,
So a reason to get vaccinated, guys, if you didn't already have one, which you should already have one, but that's
yeah,
another reason.
yeah. If you want to go watch the movies,
uh, I definitely didn't want theaters to die out and go away. The one here that was in town, the closest one to me, it wasn't the greatest theater, but it did end up shutting down, unfortunately. They
oh man,
couldn't, and they sold. You could buy theater seating if you wanted it. You could go out there and buy a chair, like not a chair or a row. You would buy three of them, I think.
yeah,
And all the posters, they had tons of posters from things. They were selling just every popcorn machine, drink machine. They sold everything out of that building, and it made me a little sad. I'm sad that it went away because it was so close, and I didn't want that to happen
yeah. That's
because
that's a bummer.
going to the movies is it's
It,
memories. It's fun. It's a good
yeah,
time.
exactly. Yeah, it's a fun time. It should be a fun time going to the theaters, man. Like I'm gonna watch this movie. I'm gonna get me a Slurpee or an icy, whatever you call it.
Oh man, I always get those white cherry ones. So good.
Oh, dude, I was just thinking like the other day, like I have a strong craving for a fucking Slurpee, man. Like especially as it starts to get warmer over here, like I need to go to like a 7-Eleven or something and just get me a fucking Slurpee, man, because I just yeah, dude. I do always go for the cherry, but I do like to get other flavors every once in a while. But cherry is
Mm-hmm.
definitely the go-to. Yeah, man. Theaters are a good time, man. Like I have not been to the theater since The Rise of Skywalker came out. So December of 2019 for me was the last time I went to a theater.
I guess that was mine too.
It feels like so fucking long ago now, dude. Like it's crazy. Yeah. I don't know when the next time I'll go to a theater. I have both doses of the vaccine now, so I'm good to go, but I don't know. I don't even know what like yeah, I have no idea. There'd have to be like a movie where I'm like, I'm gonna go, like I want to go watch this in the theater,
Yeah.
And I don't
Dune,
know, and I don't, yeah, I
Dune
know
for
for Josh,
me.
I know it's Dune for Josh. For me, I'm like, I don't even know what the hell that is. Like I'd have to like look at the releases again, like, well, what the hell's coming out? Because I don't know. If I'm being quite honest, probably nothing this year. Like for the, oh, actually, well, there might be some Marvel stuff coming out, but I don't know. I have no idea. I'd have to like look at it again. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that was the last time I went to a theater. It was December 2019. Uh, yeah. But anyway, I think they also said something about the Jungle Cruise movie. Oh, it'll be released on the big screen and on Disney Plus premiere for an additional $30 on July 30th. Okay. So that one is going to be Disney Plus and theaters at the same time, along with Cruella and Black Widow. All right, but yeah, anyway, that's the big news though, is that Free Guy and Shang-Chi are going to get theatrical releases first before they go on Disney Plus. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, it sounds silly to say, but I mean, yeah, this is going to be an experiment again because you know we're in different times, man.
Yeah.
People are. We'll see if people start going back to the theater again for these new movies once they come out. So, yeah, the first one will be August 13th with Free Guy. So we'll see how that does, and then after that, Shang-Chi on September 3rd. So, yeah. Uh, if we're done with that, we can move on.
Let's do it.
We have some Indiana Jones 5 casting news. They've cast Boyd Holbrook and Shawnette Renee Wilson. Two more to the list of this growing cast here. Uh, so they're joining, I believe, obviously Harrison's in this movie. Mads Mikkelsen. I forget who else has been cast, but they got a pretty, they're building up a pretty solid cast here. But
All right,
yeah,
who's your villain? Would you pick Mads or would you have Boyd do it? Because I've seen Boyd
oh
as a
man,
villain. I've seen
yeah,
Mads as a villain.
Boyd was the villain in Logan, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was in. So yeah, you guys might recognize Boyd Holbrook from either Narcos. You know, he was Steve Murphy in that. He was the villain in Logan. He was in the most recent Predator movie. Uh, those are some of the things you might recognize him from. I know he's in like the Sandman show coming out this at some point this year. Uh, so that's him. And then Renee or Shawnette. I actually don't recognize her from anything. I'm trying to see if maybe I have seen her in something
Oh,
and
she was in
maybe
Black Panther apparently.
oh shit, she was. Oh, she was one of the Dora Milaje. Okay.
Yeah.
So she was like in like an extra basically.
Yeah, like in the background, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. So that's why I don't recognize her then. Okay, I mean that's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh
That's the only thing I would know her from. I don't watch any of this other stuff that she's in.
yeah, I was looking at it as well and I'm like, oh yeah, I wouldn't know where she's from. Something that's cool, you know, they're adding a woman of color into
Mm-hmm.
this movie. Makes me wonder like when like what the time period of this is gonna be as well. But yeah, so back to Josh's question, like would you go Boyd or Mads Mikkelsen as the villain? I don't know, dude. I think like what if you do both?
Because the way I see it is you're either gonna have Indiana Jones is kicking it with his homie Mads Mikkelsen, and Boyd Holbrook is the young villain, or you go the opposite route with Boyd Holbrook kind of like Indy's homie or ally at the very least, not necessarily a friend.
Uh,
Um, with Mads as the villain. Now, personally, I like Mads as the villain. They could both
mhm.
be villains. That's true. You could go that way. Um, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Indy 5. Like, because are they gonna
I,
set up like a future Indy? You know, I mean, Harrison Ford's getting pretty up there. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
When I heard that like Boyd was cast, I was like, what if they want to set up Boyd as like the new guy?
I mean, they could.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting for sure. Like so far, we have Mads Mikkelsen, Harrison, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, which is the other actress that I forgot to mention. But she's great. Yeah, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Boyd Holbrook, and then now Shawnette Renee Wilson.
Yeah, but
Um,
but we're also talking about the two males. What if the two males are the villains, and they set up a Lady Jones type?
I mean, they could always go that way. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. I have no idea what the hell they're gonna do with this movie. Um, it's just interesting to see, like, since we're getting so much casting news nowadays. Like pretty recently, like within the past couple weeks, or the past month, we've been getting like a ton of casting news for this. So it's like, all right, let's see who they keep throwing in this, and here we go. Now we got the most recent ones here with these two. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, again, I have no idea what they're planning on doing with this. So
I have no
we
clue
sh-
either.
we shall wait and see. The last thing that we have here for our movie news is the Snake Eyes trailer, which I believe this dropped yesterday, like last night at
Yes,
some point.
and I watched it already.
I did too because it was only like a minute. I didn't react to it. I just watched it because it was like a minute. I'm like, all right, I'll just watch
Yeah,
this.
it's super quick.
Yeah, a lot of action.
Yeah, it just looks like a fun action movie, which is what I would expect out of a GI Joe deal.
hmm
Um,
Um, Lots of Snake Eyes without his mask, which
and he's talking, which
yeah,
which makes sense.
which I guess makes sense if you're gonna cast a guy like this to make the character. You gotta show off the face and all that
Hmm.
stuff.
I wonder if they'll set it up for him not to talk anymore at the end of the movie. Like because this is
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like his origin and stuff. Like,
hmm
uh, but I don't know. Looks like a fun summery
Yeah, it
action
looked like it'd
flick
be
to
fun.
me.
I thought this was uh before we saw this trailer. This movie, this whole thing sounded interesting to me. Like I was in on board with it. And now that I see this, I'm definitely on board with it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this movie. It comes out pretty soon, July 23rd.
Yeah.
Because I forgot that I know we mentioned it on the show before, but I forgot they had pushed up the date. Because if I'm not mistaken, it was originally supposed to come out like later in the year. But yeah, we got
Hmm.
some Baroness in here. We got some Storm Shadow. It's gonna be cool, man. I'm excited. It looks like it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
that's Snake Eyes.
that's our news for the week. Not a whole
That is
lot.
it. Not a lot, guys. Not very much at all.
Oh no.
Although we
But the good
still
news,
squeezed an hour out of it.
the
Hmm.
good news is we can still oh, actually, hold up. Something just broke right now.
Oh, did it?
Like 18 minutes ago. Did you ever watch the movie that Attack the Block with John Boyega?
I did not. I've never seen it.
Oh man, that's a good one. But well, anyway, apparently John Boyega is gonna be coming back for Attack the Block 2. So if you guys haven't seen the first Attack the Block, I'd recommend it. This is like John's like big movie before he was in Star Wars. That's how I would uh describe it, I guess. I mean, there's more. I mean, obviously, there's more to it than that, but like this was his big like this was the big one before like I actually I would say that this is the movie that probably got him like the attention of like JJ and all these like everybody else because
Hmm.
again it was the one it was the big one right before Star Wars. So yeah, if you like John Boyega and if you haven't seen it, I definitely would recommend checking out that their Attack the Block because he's coming back for the second one apparently. So there you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so that just dropped like not too long ago. But anyway, there's our movie news in case unless nothing else like you know dropped out of nowhere, which I doubt. But yeah, there's our movie news. We can good news now is we can go ahead and move on to this bracket, which I'm excited for,
Oh
man.
my,
Cause
I'm looking at it for the first time and that
oh
I'm
yeah,
just like, holy shit. Let's
you're
pull
like,
it up here so you guys can see the bracket.
all right, yeah. There, let's get into it, man. I'm yeah. Let's do it.
All
Let's do
right,
it. Let's do it.
so the bracket has 32 uh characters, which is what we did last time, so I didn't want to deviate too much from that. Um
Okay.
Made up of canon and non-canon. Uh
I see some non canons there. Although there's a few less non canons than I thought there would
there's
be. I thought
a
there'd be a couple more.
here's the hard part with this. There are a ton of characters in Star Wars, right? Um, so I tried to go with, and you can't see everybody on here.
Tried to go with
At
more
the,
canon than
I
non
tried to
canon.
go with what was popular, right? Who are
Okay,
like the
yeah, yeah,
most
yeah.
popular characters. So
I got you.
we do have a mix of video game characters. We have a mix of television show characters,
I see that
animated and live
movie.
action,
Yeah,
and movie characters. So
yeah.
like,
So Josh got a mix of a little bit of everything here.
and let me tell you,
It's
it was
great.
not easy. It was really
Oh,
hard,
oh no.
bro.
I imagine it's not. Yeah, it would be tough to like of every character in Star Wars, you have to make basically a list of only 32. Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be a task right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Real
I
hard.
think that being said, though, I think you did a good job with your selections here.
The good news is that we could probably do this again next year with a completely different set of characters.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely can. We definitely
um,
can.
but uh, I'll read up the matchups, and I'm just gonna go like one, then two, then three. We would just count up to the 16, so we can see them
Yeah.
all. So, the first one that we're gonna have will be Yoda. This is a hard one. Yoda versus Padme Amidala is on here as our first matchup.
That's the first one. You're like, damn, okay.
Uh-huh. We drop down to number two. We have, oh my god, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order. Well, I already know who's probably going to win that. Um,
I mean, I
Number
know too.
three, we have Boba Fett versus Ahsoka Tano.
That's
Uh,
dude. That one is.
that's hard.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's gonna be one of the tougher ones, dude. Holy shit, bro.
Uh,
Ooh. Okay. Anyway, what else we got here?
Number four, we're gonna have Darth Maul versus Sabine Wren from Star Wars Rebels. Um,
Another good matchup right there.
Number five, we're gonna have Chewbacca versus Bastila Shan from Knights of
Ooh.
the Old Republic.
Oh man.
Number six, we're gonna have C-3PO versus Ezra Bridger. Um,
PPO and Ezra. Oh man.
Number seven, we're gonna have Princess Leia versus Qui-Gon Jinn.
Shit, dude.
Number eight, we have Darth Sidious versus General Grievous. Uh, Number nine, we have Mace Windu versus Grand Admiral Thrawn. Number 10, we're gonna have Jabba the Hutt versus Kylo Ren. Number 11, oh god, where's my number 11? There it is. Lando
Oh man.
Calrissian versus Revan from
Dude, some
Knights
of
of the
these
Old
first
Republic.
round matchups are so unfair, bro. It's like, come on. How are you gonna make me choose between these two guys in the first or these two characters in the first round?
I know, I know. Number 12 will be as soon as I find it.
Number 12
Kanan
is
Jarrus versus Luke Skywalker.
oh
Oh,
man,
oh, oof.
oh man,
Uh,
that's mm,
it's hard. Number 13 will be Count Dooku versus Rey.
mm, that'll
Number
be
f-
an interesting one.
Number 14 will be Han Solo against Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. I couldn't fit it all in the text, but
Yeah.
that's why
No, I
it
mean,
says has his actual name in there.
yeah. If you've seen
Uh,
the show, you should know that his name is Din Djarin. I mean, come on.
yeah. Um, Number 15 will be Commander Rex versus R2D2.
Oh, dude, Rex versus R2. Oh,
I know
bro.
that's a little rough.
Oh, man.
And then number 16 will be oh, I seen it and now I've lost it. Anakin Skywalker versus Hera Syndulla.
Oof.
Um,
Two great. These are all like great characters going up against each other, by the way.
mhm. So what I'm gonna do is make it so chat can't see.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna do my choices.
All right.
Oh, also I zoomed in the browser and I don't even have to. This thing has a built-in zoom on it. Look at that.
So how do we want to do this? Do you just want to go like one versus 32, two versus 31, or do you want to
Yeah, we
just
could
go
do it.
like
We could do it that way. One versus, and then two versus it's, and then
okay,
like we just read it all.
like the
Because I think
brackets?
that's what
Yeah.
we did last time, and I didn't want to
Yeah, it is.
deviate too much.
Cause that's how that's how you would do a bracket. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do that then. That sounds good.
All right, I'm making my selections.
All right, I am going to open up Photoshop and then so I can just write down my selections on this thing.
Uh,
Oh man, this is just
it's hard. It's hard, man.
you
I'm
made
sitting here like stuck
you made
already.
you made a great list, but this is gonna be a bitch to fill out, man.
Also, Daniel will be reading off his choices. You'll be able to see mine on the screen, just because I can't like just grab his,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. I'll be reading mine off. Yeah,
Fuck me, this is hard.
it really
Um,
is, man. These are gonna be real
this is
tough.
this is gonna be harder than the games. I think like that's picking characters. Uh, these matchups are random, Loki. They're completely random. I picked 32 people and I hit the random button a bunch.
Yeah, he said at the beginning of the show that he like randomized the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Some of
these are
them
completely
are
random.
hard and some of them are easy. So like,
All Josh did, I think, was choose the characters and then he just threw them in the thing, and you know we got what we got. The matchups are what we, the matchups are the matchups that we got. It just so happened to be that way.
yeah, that's the way it be. That's the way it is.
That's the way it is. All right. Fuck. Hold on. Have to decide here.
Oh my god, the pain, the
I
pain.
know. I know the pain of having to like choose between some of these is a bit much. All right, here we go. There's that one. All right. 2 versus 31.
Fuck me. This is
So
hard,
we're
guys.
fill so we're filling these out and you have to make some choices.
Some hard choices.
Some harder than others, but you still have to make choices. Fuck, dude. Oh god. This is oh, I think I got to go with this one, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got to, dude. Like as great as all right, what's the next one? This one, okay.
Oh my god, this was the hard one. Holy shit.
I wonder
Uh,
which one. I wonder which one. I wonder which one that is for you. I'm curious.
uh,
All right, put you in
oh, I
there.
feel like I'm betraying some characters in some of these.
I
No, I'm not.
mean,
I
dude,
still love them.
you just no, yeah, you're not. You just listen. That's the thing about these brackets. Even if you love one thing, you have to choose. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what, you have to choose, man. It's like that's the tough part. Like you got to make some decisions, man. All right, did that one. Where are we? So we're doing the whole first round. Let's
Yes.
see. Oh, ugh, fuck.
Oof. 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 All right. My
Man,
choices are locked in.
I do I really want to go with it? Ugh. This one's oh fuck, this one's tough, dude. I don't know if I want to do with this choice. I might switch my pick on this one.
uh, this was real hard.
Oh God, why do I have to choose between these? Uh you know, yeah, I as much as I like
Oof.
this, as much as I like this character, I really need to I have to choose. I have to choose
This
this one.
sets up some fantasy battles for me too. Like I'd like to see some of these fights that happen.
Like when you said Ray versus Dooku, I'm like Dooku would probably win, but that'd be an interesting duel. Let's see. Let's see. Oh hell no! Oh dude, this is setting up some. No, I'm just looking at some of these round two matchups, and I'm like, why? What the hell, dude? Oh my lordy, this is tougher than I thought, man. I'm still filling mine out, by the way, everyone. This is you have to make some choices here, and
It's hard. It's fucking hard. I knew it was going to be hard, and that's why I wanted to save it. That's why I didn't want to think about it at all. That's why, like, it was moments before the podcast that I was hitting the
yeah.
random button so much. Like, I hit it when I first made it. I hit a bunch, and then when right before the cantina started, I hit it a bunch more, and then I downloaded it. I didn't even look at it. I downloaded it, sent it to Daniel, and because I didn't want
Oh
to think about it
no!
at all.
Oh no! I don't like this matchup. This is gonna break my heart, bro. Oh fuck me, dude. Oh, I love Star Wars too much for this, man. This some of these. I don't want these characters to go up against each other. They shouldn't go up against each other.
hmm
Oh Lord. Oh, that's absolutely tragic. Have you ever heard the tragedy of fucking
The
the
Star Wars character
the
bracket.
I was gonna say the 2020 Clockwork Cantina Star Wars character bracket. Oh fuck, I'm undecided on this one. I need to fucking choose though, man. I
Yeah,
think
it's
all right,
hard.
I'm changing my pick. Boom. There
All
we go.
right,
I made a last minute change.
the pick is
I
in.
have I have my yeah, like the sport the professional sports drafts. My picks are in. Uh we have
All
round
right,
1 locked in.
all right,
We are a go, everyone.
all right. I'm gonna flip over, and you're gonna see most of mine. We'll read them off. We'll do one. I'll do one. Then Daniel, you do your one. Then I'll do my two, and you'll do your two. Is that how we
Yep.
want to do this?
Yeah,
All
that's how we're
right,
going to do it.
all right. So for my first matchup, for both of our first matchups, I had Yoda versus Padme Amidala. I went with Yoda here. Uh, big, big, like, listen, I like Padme. She's a cool character and all, but you're going up against arguably one of the greatest Jedi ever in Master Yoda. So, ended up with going with Yoda as my pick here. What is your pick here, Daniel? Or your reasoning behind it?
For the very same exact reasonings that Josh just gave, I also went with Yoda. I mean, listen, Padme is I'm gonna say this here and now. Padme is one of the more underrated character like women like characters in Star Wars. She was a fucking queen at the age of 14 years old, all right? She was a bad badass lady or in like again, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. Unfortunately, she didn't get to do a whole lot in Revenge of the Sith, but uh, in the Clone Wars, she did a lot of great things. Like she's like I think in my opinion, she's a very underrated character that I think deserves more respect. Or like
Yeah,
overall,
I
because
agree with that,
because
actually.
I feel like people when they think of like strong like Star Wars female characters, they always think of her daughter Leia, which of course I mean obviously I mean Leia belongs in that conversation because she was the OG, like back in 1977 and all that. Yeah, yeah. So Leia's always the one. They always think of Ahsoka, which is in this bracket. They always think of like Rey, some one of the newer characters. They always think of like some of these, other, but like Padme's like hardly ever in there. Like Padme deserves to be in there, man. Like show put some respect on the Queen of Naboo, man. She
Mm-hmm.
served her people her entire life, man. She was a queen. She was a senator. Put some respect on Padme Amidala. But that being said, you're putting again, you're matching up against Yoda. It's kind of an unfair matchup for her here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she would have had a better chance against some of these other characters, for me at least. But unfortunately, she's going up against Yoda, so I got to go with Yoda because again, I mean, what is there to say about Yoda? We could talk a lot about Yoda. Legendary Jedi Master, uh, bunch of different eras, trained a bunch of different Jedi. A very important character in not only the saga but all everything. Like he's Yoda. So yeah, I had to go with Yoda. I'm sorry, Padme. I love you, Padme, but you we're just not given a fair shake here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was just an unfortunate
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate
randomizer,
matchup. Yeah, that's
you
all it
know.
was.
In a different matchup, she could have go all the way to the end, really. So any of these characters just about could. So if we're ready to move on from number one, we're gonna move down to number two,
Up number two.
which is Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Cal Kestis. Now, look,
Hmm.
I love Cal Kestis. Jedi Fallen Order is a great game, and Cal, I think, is one of the absolute coolest characters ever. But Obi-Wan Kenobi, bro. Like, charm, uh, skill, the great one-liners. He ends up taking it here for me. Uh,
Yeah.
Beating out Cal Kestis. Again, I think this is lopsided a little bit. Like Cal
Yeah.
Kestis he's got one game behind him. Obi Wan
Yeah.
Kenobi has
That's
games,
that's exactly what
movies,
I was gonna say. Yeah.
televisions.
Because spoiler alert, I also went with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Uh huh.
It's an unfair matchup to Cal Kestis here because you're going up against a legendary Jedi Knight, Jedi Master. Uh, Cal Kestis only has the one game behind him, which like Josh said, it's a fun game, very enjoyable. I like his character in it. It was cool seeing his backstory with his master and all that stuff. But I mean, dude, you're going up against the negotiator, the legendary Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like it just to me, this is with all due respect to Cal Kestis, this was a no-brainer. Like Obi-Wan was always gonna be the choice here. Like I'm sorry, Cal, but it's Obi-Wan we're talking here. Like again, if you had maybe, I mean, gone up against some other character in here, then maybe you would have had a chance. But I just, you're just, it was a tough one for you, Cal. I'm sorry, it was a tough one.
Yeah. Lopsided. It just happens, man. That's the way the randomizer chose. And some people, even though they're great, some characters, even though they're great characters, have
No,
great
no.
moments.
Every
And
every character in this list, I'll say that right now. Every character in this list is great. Like
mm-hmm.
I have no issues with any character in this list. They're all in their own way. They're all like fantastic, awesome Star Wars characters. Like this is a
Also, we should say
again, this is a solid
these
list.
these choices are just our opinions, so don't crucify us or anything for them. It's just ours. I'm sure your lists and brackets will look different. I'm gonna post the bracket uh, in the Discord channel when we're done, so you guys can go fill it out for yourself as well. Um,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
that was our number two. So far we both have chosen the same characters, Yoda and Obi-Wan.
yes. I'm curious to where we are on number three here, though.
Yeah,
Uh,
number three was a toughie, man. Number
that's
three was a
that's one I
toughie.
was agonizing over. That's the one I was like, "Fuck me, this is hard."
Yeah, that's a tough matchup. Boba versus Ahsoka. That's one of those unfortunate first round matchups of like these are two awesome characters that are going up against each other, and you just gotta make a choice.
Hmm.
Um, Go ahead, Josh. Who'd you end up going with?
I ended up going with Ahsoka Tano here. Absolute
Ah,
badass character. Um, and just an amazing, just her history is amazing, and like how she grew. Like that's the big thing for me. How she grew from this little wimpy snips in the movie in the animated Clone Wars movie
guy
to
and Snips. Yeah.
all the way up to where she is now. Like is crazy to me. Like a massive amount of growth in popularity, a great character with great moments. And I love Boba Fett. He's a great character, especially with some of the stuff they've done with him recently. And it was hard. It was so hard. Like
Yeah,
this is
that
one of
was a
those
tough one for
choices
sure.
that could change for me just depending on the day and the mood I'm in, right? Like that's how
Mm,
close this choice is for me. Where did you
yeah.
end up going here?
So again, this is a tough one because you have Boba Fett, which most people would be like, "Oh, he doesn't do shit in the movies. Why would you, why is this a tough choice?" You know, I've always been a fan of Boba Fett. Let me tell you guys a little something here. I have been a fan of Boba Fett and just in general the Mandalorians. You know, before it was cool. Like everybody loves Mandalorians now because of the show and everything, right? I have been a Boba fan, as you're a Boba fan, uh, from day one, for as long as I can remember. Because Boba Fett, he just looks cool, dude. Like the art, like the Mandalorian armor is one of the coolest fucking armors of all time, right? And not only
Mm-hmm.
that, I love the Slave One, his ship. That is my favorite ship in all of Star Wars. Like if I had to choose one, like canon wise, like I mean non-canon, like I love the Evan Hawk and a bunch of other stuff, but like Slave One, like if we're talking overall, I would go with the Slave One. I just there's something about like just Boba Fett and his ship and like I remember when they let's take us back to 2002 for a moment, which by the way, happy birthday to Attack of the Clones. It turned 19 years old yesterday. So
Ooh.
episode two, yeah. So because we're gonna be talking about episode two, back to 2002, when it was first revealed that there was gonna be a character called Django Fett, I was like, hmm, we're getting another Mandalorian here. Like, I was all about it, dude. Like, for those who remember, there was this thing that Toys R Us used to do back in the prequel days. When the new action figures would come out, they would have this thing called Midnight Madness where like they would have a day where like you could go to a Toys R Us at midnight and they get like the new figures, because the movies were coming out or whatever. So me and my dad would go to those, right? And the first action figures that I got for episode two was guess. Take a wild guess at who were the first two that I got for episode two.
Uh,
Based off of what I
Django
just
and
said.
Django and
Yes.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, I got Django and Little Kid Boba.
Oh, I didn't realize they had little kid Boba.
Yeah, so that they had Little Kid Boba and Jango Fett. Those are the first two figures I got for episode two.
Gotcha.
Uh, back at the Midnight Madness of 2002 at my local Toys R Us, which doesn't exist anymore, obviously. But when I had it, when Toys R Us was a thing, those were the first two that I got. Was Boba, little Boba, and Django, man. Cause like Django Fett looks fucking badass, dude. Like I couldn't wait to see him in the movie and everything. So anyway, long story short, I've always been a Mandalorian fan. Like like always. Like I've always loved them. So Boba obviously is one of my, like I give him shit sometimes because I mean he goes out like a chump in Return of the Jedi. But he obviously we've seen him come back in the Mandalorian and how amazing Timur Tam portrayed him and all that stuff. Like I can't wait to see the Book of Boba Fett and all that stuff. But
Yes.
yeah, dude, I felt that between these two characters with the canon versions that we have, that's kind of how I did it. I had to go with Ahsoka Tano too, dude. Like
Ah.
as much as I love Boba Fett, dude, it was a tough one, man. It was really really hard. I'm like, because I really like Boba, like I really do, but I just Ahsoka is just like a character that since 2008 has just been in so much Star Wars. Like she's been like such a like consistently like great character since 2008 that like I had to go with her, man. I had to. I'm sorry, Boba.
Hey,
I'm so sorry, but I had
hey,
to go
man.
with Ahsoka on this one.
This is seriously one of the choices that you could easily flip a coin. Like
Yeah.
it's a hard one. It's a hard one. And like any day, it could be in a matter of minutes. You'd be like, I want the other way. Like, oof, hard choice there.
It really was, man. It really was. I would choose them both if I could, but you can only there can only be one.
Um,
Number four, which is Maul versus Sabine.
so we had Darth Maul versus Sabine Wren. I
Mm-hmm.
like Sabine. I think she just got a little bit of an unfair matchup because I ended up going with Maul here because I mean it's Maul. I mean
Yeah,
he's even
yeah,
he was a phenomenon even just in the Phantom Menace,
yep. I mean, we all
barring
know if you were old
you
enough
know.
to know like the madness surrounding Maul during Phantom Menace, and you would know, yeah, like just how
Mm-hmm.
amazing and like crazy that all that was. Like, you know. Anyway, but yeah. Um, I also went with Maul. I also went with
Yeah,
Maul.
just
Again,
everything that he's
I
been in.
actually I love Sabine. I really do. I hope we see
Mm-hmm.
her in live action someday because I think
Same.
she's a fantastic Mandalorian character. I actually love Sabine again because she was a Mandalorian from the moment we saw like the concept art or the like the first images of Rebels. I'm like, yo, we're getting a girl rebel Mandalorian chick. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like I like her already. My two favorite characters in Rebels is Arkanan and Sabine. Um, so I'm a big Sabine fan. But again, you're just unfair matchup. You're going against Darth Maul. Like Maul is he has Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, Rebels, Solo. Like he's been in the games. We have also another thing that goes into this is like some of these characters we just have like in the case of the for instance for this matchup and the Cal Kestis and Obi-Wan matchup, we have years years of history with some of these characters. And like Cal Kestis and Sabine, like as cool as they are, I mean they're Cal Kestis has only been around for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Sabine has only been around since 2014, you know. Um, but yeah, you know, I say this now, but there's gonna be a matchup later on that you guys are gonna be like, what? Well, what the hell did you know? You were talking about all that shit earlier, but you know you're backpedaling here on this one. But nah, uh, yeah, I Maul, dude, Darth Maul. I had to go with Darth Maul over Sabine.
Yeah, man, it's I love Sabine. She's a great
Same.
character.
I really I love her. I love her the entire arc we go through with her in Rebels. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And I definitely hope to see her in live action. But
Yes.
man, it ain't fair to go up against Maul in round one. That's rough. That's
It's
rough.
the unfortunate thing about this is that there's so many great Star Wars characters and like you only have 32 slots here, so it's it is a very some of these people are going to get unfair matchups and
Mm-hmm.
this is what's happening here.
It's like my old boss used to say, "Hey, somebody's got to get picked, and somebody's got to get not picked, and you just got not picked." Um, moving on to number five, we have Chewbacca versus Bastila Shan or
Yeah.
Sean, and
Bad.
it is this is hard. I love Chewie. I do. He's one of my absolute favorite characters. You know, they gave him his medal and stuff, and I would give him a medal if I could. I'd give him a big hug if I could.
I give him a
But
medal if I could. Yeah, man.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
I
Although they
but
ended up giving one him in the Rise of Skywalker, remember? You remember they
yeah.
gave a medal for like no reason, just because like, oh, you didn't get one like 30 years ago, so here you go, dude.
It felt so weird too.
It
Anyway,
was. It was just like, yeah. Let's not get into that. But
yeah, we talk about that another day. Um, I ended up going with Bastila here because look, man, we talked about Kotor fucking last night sitting in
yeah, I was
voice
gonna say we
chat,
were talking about KOTOR literally last night. Last
and
night we were talking
specifically we
about
were talking about Bastila at one
yeah.
point.
We were talking. I was talking about my love for Bastila because I do have a lot of love for that character.
Uh, Same. I fell in love with Bastila. All right, I fell in love with Jennifer Hale's voice for the first time. Like
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
she's a unique character with a unique power. For the most part, to her, She has
Battle
a
reputation.
she has cool character growth. She has a cool outfit. Her character design looks
He has a
great.
double blade yellow lightsaber. I mean, come on, bro.
Like she has
She's
this force bond with this with the Revan character that they show up. Like
yeah.
I I ended up going with her, man. I had to, and I love Chewie.
Of course,
it was a hard
everybody
pick.
everybody loves Chewie, man. Like he's Chewie's the dog of the family. You know, you gotta you cannot, bro. Like it's
And while I love Chewie, I fell in love with Bastila. So like like
that is a great way to put it, Josh. Because let me tell you, I also went with Bastila.
yeah,
I,
I was curious who you were gonna pick here because I know you care
I
about both these characters.
I do. I mean, I like again. I like every character on this list. I think they're all fucking awesome in their own way. But
Mm-hmm.
like when you have to choose, I'm like, yeah, Chewie's great because he's in everything, right? Like Chewie has been there from. Well, he's not in everything, but like he's in most of everything. He's in Episode 3. He's in Clone Wars Episode 3. The OT, the sequels. You know, he's been around for a very long time. But I just the love for Bastila is just it just it overcomes the situation. It prevails. I am a big Bastila fan. What can I say? You know.
Yeah.
I also echo everything Josh said earlier. I just she's great, man. Again, I would choose all of these characters if I could, but you have to go with one. So Bastila it is.
It was definitely not easy. All right.
No.
Moving on to number 6. This one was kind of easy for me. Um
Okay.
Ezra Bridger versus C3PO. Um I
Who
like
I'm curious.
3PO.
Okay.
I like 3PO and all that. I get him for a lot of movies and he's get some moments. Uh but not one of my absolute favorite characters, but still good. I still like him obviously. And then Ezra Bridger. So we get to see this character grow up, learn, train, change, grow, and see
These
two different sides of him. So,
dude, all of the characters in Rebels have like fantastic arcs, man.
mm-hmm.
Like like I mentioned Sabine's earlier. Her I love her arc. Fucking Ezra, like again, like Josh was saying, he has a hell of an arc in that show too, man. It's actually pretty crazy now that I like it's all over and you can look back and think about it. It's like, yeah, dude, he actually has a hell of a journey in this story too, man. Like it's bonkers.
So I ended up going with Ezra here. Um, uh, uh, I just liked him more. Like I'll be honest with you, like because I'm with him and see him grow and see that show, and it's just cool. It's just cool. He just comes out ahead here for me, personally.
I
So that's
gotcha.
who I ended up going with. How
Gotcha,
about you,
gotcha.
buddy? Who you
So
got here?
this was the one that I flip flopped on at the last minute because
Did ya?
I originally had Ezra, but I switched it to 3PO
Mmm.
because like yeah, Ezra is like you know he's everything that you just said. Like he has a hell of a journey. We see him go from Aladdin to like you know he has making these like important Jedi decisions and whatnot. Like you know with Thrawn and you know with the world between worlds and all that stuff. Once he has the buzz cut, like he has a literal transformation. Like we see him go from like Aladdin with a stapler lightsaber to
Mm-hmm.
like fucking this dude with a buzz cut and like a
Stapler
more
lightsaber.
of yeah more like a
Yeah.
green like actual lightsaber hilt. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of crazy, you know, his whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just like I like Ezra, but I don't know. I just feel like 3PO. He's just a classic like OG character that's been there from the start, and like he you know he's kind of like the comedic relief at times, and like he's a bit of a goofball and stuff. But I don't know. I just if any of these were gonna be like you know I'm gonna go with a classic character over a modern character, it would probably be this one. So that's just basically what I did, you know, like 3PO. It just the respect to the OGs on this one with
Mm-hmm.
3PO.
Fair enough.
That's basically what that was all about. But I mean, honestly, like I had Ezra first before I swapped it, you know, before I switched it
Hey,
the last second. So
it's yeah.
this is one of the ones where it's like depending on the day, I could have chosen the other one, you know. So
Mm-hmm. All right. For our seventh matchup,
this is a
which I
tough
think
one
you
for me
guys could
too.
see it on stream, um, we have Princess Leia versus Qui Gon Jinn.
Tough one because
This
I like both of these characters a lot.
it's a hard pick here. I like both of them too. Um, Qui Gon is a cool, calm, collected character. Played wonderfully, and has a cool look about him. Has a different way of thinking than like the regular Jedi Knights and Masters.
Yeah, he's
Um,
definitely not your typical Jedi for sure.
uh, so fairly unique. Then you got Princess Leia, man. Like, uh, I ended up going with Leia here because she's a feisty, strong, don't take no shit, stands on her own 2 feet, strong female character. And we get her for many movies and shows and stuff, so she's got a little bit more history on Qui-Gon. Um, um, and I just really like her. I just really love her a lot. Carrie Fisher made her great. Um, and that's why I ended up going with my pick here. She was just like, as a kid growing up, one of the first strong female characters in a movie for me, because that's Star Wars is one of the first movies I can remember ever seeing. So that's why I ended up going with Leia here. Again, ask me on a different day, and I might say Qui Gon. It's another one of those. Like I really love that character too. So who did you end up going here with, Daniel?
This is a tough one because I also am a proponent of the Qui Gon is underrated fan club. Much like Padme, I think Qui Gon is also an underrated character, and he only gets one movie as well. He's only in Phantom Menace, and he isn't like in a whole lot of other stuff. Like we see him in a couple other things, but his impact is just so huge. Like in that one movie, you know, like without Qui Gon, there wouldn't be like obviously the original trilogy was made before the prequels, and you know whatever whatever was gonna happen is gonna happen anyway. But if you're thinking like in universe, without Qui Gon doing what he did in that movie, the universe would be a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
They would have never discovered Anakin, and that alone has immense changes to the universe. But he's just yeah, he's such a different like type of Jedi. Like even in the movie, you hear Obi-Wan say like, "Yo, if you weren't such a fucking rebel compared to these other fucking guys, you would be on the council, you know." And Qui-Gon he's just like, I'm just doing my own thing, man. Like uh yeah, I don't know. I'm just I'm such a fan of the character of Qui-Gon Jinn. Like I wish we would see him in more stuff, you know? Like obviously it'd be tough to like post Phantom Menace, but it's doable. You can definitely do it. But yeah, I'd want to see him more like pre Phantom Menace stuff too. Like give me that. I always say this, but there's a particular thing in the Clone Wars, um, where you remember the character of Satine, the Satine Kryze, right? The Duchess
Mm-hmm.
of Mandalore. It's in that arc where we kind of find out a little bit about the backstory of between the history of her and Obi-Wan. And there's Obi-Wan mentions that he and Qui-Gon were on Mandalore for a year protecting her from bounty hunters and stuff. I'm like, I want to see that story. Give me a young Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon protecting Satine on Mandalore from bounty hunters. Like I want to see that. Like give me more Qui-Gon, give me more young Obi-Wan. I want to. That's the kind of stuff I want to see more of. Like I love what I mean, I have enjoyed what Star Wars has done in the time period of episodes 3 and 4, like the dark times or whatever. But I think they've done that a little, a little much at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like what they've done, but I would like to explore other time periods now. But yeah, so I mean, Qui Gon is again. I think he's an underrated character that I wish we'd see more of and get more Liam Neeson and all that stuff. But the impact and the just character of Leia, I think, is just too much here in this situation. I also went with Leia. Um, Everything that Josh mentioned earlier, like especially with Carrie and which R.I.P. our princess Carrie. But yeah, Leia's such a huge like vital character. She's leader of the rebellion and later of the resistance and you know such a major force uh that I just between the two like it was a tough one because again I do like Qui-Gon but like realistically you have to be like you have to acknowledge the impact and the history and everything of Leia, so you gotta I feel like you gotta choose her, but again, I'm a big Qui-Gon fan, so I he'd be in here somewhere if I could get him in here. But anyway, yeah, I went with Leia. She's just too big of a character to get bounced out in the first round.
Fair enough. Moving on to our number 8 matchup, we had Darth Sidious versus General Grievous.
Ba-dum-bum,
Um,
ba-dum-bum, ba-da-da-da-dum. Mm, mm, mm,
you know,
mm, mm, mm.
Grievous is a cool character. The first
Yep,
time I saw him was in the OG
the micro series, yeah,
micro series.
and
Yeah,
that honestly was the most badass he ever was.
yeah. um, and he's a cool character, and his story is kind of neat if you look into his background and all that kind of stuff. Although I'm not sure what's all canon and not anymore with
Yeah,
Grievous.
it's kind of it is a
Um,
little this is a little weird now with that because
a
I also
little
don't
hazy.
know. Yeah,
Um,
I just
but you're
what I
going up.
do
Sorry. Yep. Go ahead.
no just really quick what I usually do is like until it's not canon I usually go with with the non-canon stuff as the canon thing. But anyway, go ahead
Mm-hmm.
until they tell me
But
otherwise.
he's going up against Darth Sidious,
Yeah, you're going up against Sidious here, so
which is, you know, obviously one of the absolute most patient evil characters ever. Like this dude plots for years in
he,
advance
he's a schemer, dude. He's yeah, he has a lot of patience for what he's done.
to get his way into power, to plot the downfall of the Jedi, to the birthing of an empire. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Grievous, but you're just outclassed and outmatched by Sidious here. I'm
In
afraid to
every
say.
in every way. In every
Mm-hmm.
way. I also went with Sidious because Sidious is probably the greatest Sith of all time, if we're being honest. For the reasons that you mentioned, he is a patient, long, big brain, long time thinker, schemer. Like the grand plan, that's what they call it, the grand plan of, the eradication of the Jedi and, all that stuff. The just amount of like preparation and just this motherfucker had to become chancellor and set that up. He had to become a senator to become a chancellor to become the emperor. Like there's so many steps involved in his plan that he had to do. This guy is the goat. He's the greatest of all time, dude. He fucking waited for his time, and when the time came, he fucking wiped out the Jedi in like a night or like like a week. Like I don't know how long, or I don't know the timeline of Order 66. Like it's very like it gets weird because like there's so many, it's all over the galaxy, so there's different planets and different whatever. Like it gets weird because time zones and whatever. With anyway, like, and then not only that, but this motherfucker is a threat in each one of the trilogies, in all three of them, Josh. In the entire Skywalker saga, Sidious is a threat in all three of them. He's the big puppet master in the prequels. He's the Emperor, the big bad, behind the scenes, behind Vader in the original trilogy. And then in the fucking sequels, he shows up out of nowhere, being like, "What up, bitches? I'm still alive. Granddaughter, help me kill the last Skywalker." And guess what? I have fucking a fleet that I've hidden underground for 30 years with these cool new red stormtroopers that like this dude this dude is insane, man. The amount of patience, all these years. Like, Grievous is cool and all, but he was never cooler than he was in the micro series. Like, that was his peak. His peak
Mm-hmm.
was his beginning, and then he just went low. He went down from there. Like, that was it. Like, Grievous is cool. He can hold his own against Jedi and stuff, but he's a coward because he runs away a lot. So I like Grievous, but he's a little bit of a bitch. So this was an easy one. This is an easy Darth Sidious for me. Like, there was no competition here. Again, Grievous is he's cool, in his own ways, but this is Sidious we're talking about. Like, I'm sorry.
All right. It's true. All right, we're halfway through the first round here with our number 8 pick, I believe.
Yes,
Um,
that was yeah, number 8. So number 9 is right above it.
so number 9 we had Mace Windu versus Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now look, Mace Windu's played by Samuel L. Jackson, and he's got a purple lightsaber. It
This
says
lightsaber is
"bad
the one
motherfucker"
that
on it.
says bad motherfucker. That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
damn right.
Uh,
And he's absolutely a badass in the flicks. And I like him a lot, but I docked him some points uh,
mm,
for being a little bit of a shit sometimes when he's a shouldn't be, and some of the he's a little bit of a shit to Ahsoka and like some of the Clone Wars stuff. He's a
oh,
little bit of a shit to Anakin and some stuff.
he's
Um,
that's just the way he is, man.
I know, but
He's a no
I'm docking
bullshit
him some
guy.
points.
That's
I'm
fair,
docking him
dude.
some points.
Hey, you do what you want, man.
I'm
This
docking him
this,
just a
this is
few
your
points for
choice.
that. I think he kind of helped set up the fall of the Jedi a little bit in the just saying. Um, he's supposed to be a Jedi Knight, and he's a little bit of a douche sometimes.
You're thinking
Still
not
like
alone
him.
in that opinion. Yeah.
I still like the character. I totally get that. That's why he's there, and that's the way he is. But then you have the Grand Admiral Thrawn, who I think is one of the absolute coolest characters. He's a fucking chiss, uh, badass, thoughtful, plotting, planning, art collector. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah. That's all he is. He's an art collector.
all this other stuff, all these
Yeah.
other great things, like rising up through the ranks of the Empire until he becomes, a Grand Admiral. Um, I ended up going with Thrawn here. Um, which is not to say I hate Mace or nothing like that. I love Mace and all that, but I like Thrawn a little bit more. I like Rebels. He really fucking shines in that show.
He was really cool in Rebels the way they portrayed him for sure.
Mm-hmm. And he has non-canon books and canon books. He's a little mix of everything. He's a
He's got a
character
lot
that
of
was
books.
so popular in the non-canon that they brought him in the canon. Like
Yeah.
like that's cool to me. So I ended up going with Thrawn here.
Timothy Zahn. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so you went with Thrawn. Okay.
Yeah, what'd you go with?
I like Thrawn a lot as well. Like you said, he's a Grand Admiral. He's a very like calculated. You know, like he studies his enemies through their art and stuff, and like you know, he's a very strategic like dude and whatnot. And yeah, it was really cool seeing him in Rebels. I was excited when they brought him into canon through that show, and now he has his own books, which I haven't read yet, but like
I haven't read them either.
he has his own new books, and Timothy Zahn wrote them, and you know all that stuff. Um, but I went with Mace Windu.
That's fair.
Uh, Mace Windu is one of the most badass Jedi. He's behind Yoda. He's the number two guy of the Jedi Order during that period of time. This is we're talking about the man who beat Darth Sidious in lightsaber combat. Uh, like a lot of people debate whether or not that was like Sidious letting him win or like if Mace actually won. I think Mace actually won. In my opinion, I think Mace actually won. Um, Even though you know Anakin conveniently managed to show up in time for that, because to me it's just like how would Sidious know that Anakin is gonna show up right then and there? Like I mean I guess you can use the Force and sense, and you know he has that connection with Anakin or whatever, but like they were already fighting beforehand. Like you're just gonna like I don't know. I mean I guess it could happen, but it just it seems a little far fetched to me. So in my opinion, Mace won. We're talking about the man who beheaded Jango Fett in the Battle of Geonosis, and then just kept fighting the rest of the fight, like he didn't just cut off some man's head. Uh, uh, the micro series Mace Windu stuff is fucking some of the most glorious like Jedi badassery you've ever seen. That
Oh my
stuff of
god, he's so strong in the micro series.
he's OP, dude. Like it's kind of a good thing that that's not canon because if it was, it's hard to believe that the Jedi lost to the clone troopers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If they could pull off shit like that. But what was I gonna say? It's funny that you dock him points for like being a bit of an asshole. That's part of the reason why I like Mace is because he is a fucking asshole sometimes, dude. Like when Ahsoka was trying to get information in the Clone Wars, and he's like, "Oh, we can't give this information to citizens or whatever." Like, he called her like a citizen or something, right? I thought that was hilarious, and people are like, "Fuck Mace, don't talk to Ahsoka that way." And I'm like, calm down, dude. Like, he's technically right. She's not a Jedi anymore, even though she's like, you know, obviously she's our hero, and you know she's the main person of the arc basically, and like you know like I get that, but I like he ain't wrong. Like she's not a Jedi anymore. Like she's just like she's essentially just volunteering to help out the Mandalorians at that point. Um, but no, I think, and then like and then Mace has just never liked Anakin like from the start. You know what I mean? So their whole thing is like, because Mace and Yoda and like a few of those guys were always skeptical of Qui-Gon and you know, or Qui-Gon bringing in Anakin thinking he was the chosen one and stuff, right? Like from Phantom Menace, they were like he's too old, you know, like he's all that stuff with Anakin. Like Mace has just always had beef with him from the beginning. So that's why I think that's funny that you duck him points. I'm like, that's why I love him because he's a fucking asshole. But I mean, like you're probably not like wrong, and you're certainly not the only one with the opinion that like he was part of the reason why the Jedi Order like you know fell. But I always liked Mace, dude. Like purple lightsaber, like just a badass. Like he was like second in command behind Yoda, dude. Like he was that dude. Like to me, it was like you have Yoda, Mace, and Obi-Wan. That's your fucking trio right there, man. Like those are your boys, man. Like if you have those three on your side, like you ain't losing shit. Like not like you're gonna be all right. But you know, unfortunately, in episode 3, everybody was scattered everywhere, so you know you can't. They couldn't you know take care of business together. But anyway, yeah, I just really like Mace Windu. I think he's another character that like I guess some people like some people like don't like him at all. Like some people like me do, and like I don't know. He's an interesting character because yeah, like a lot of people they give him shit for a lot of different things, but I'm just like he's a fucking badass. So I like Mace. So yeah, as much as I like Thrawn, I think he's cool and everything. I like Mace. So I
Did
like
you
Mace
ever
a little
read
bit more.
did you ever
The
read the Shatterpoint book with him in it?
Counterpoint, I know some of it, but I not
It's
the
a
whole
pretty
thing.
good book. Mace is good in that book. You get a lot of insight into his mind in it. Uh, at least back when it was canon. Um,
Yeah.
but man, it was. I like that book. And Mace is a cool character. I like him. I do like him. Me going with Thrawn here has nothing to do with me like not liking
Oh yeah.
Mace. I
Yeah.
like
When
Mace.
we've said multiple times, all these characters are great.
And the purple lightsaber. Oh, that makes me love him even more because I love purple. Well,
Only
that sets up a
character.
some cool matchups for us in the
Yeah.
next round.
For the most part we have a lot of the same choices, but there's a few that are different for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 10, which is down here. This is Kylo Ren versus Jabba the Hutt.
Uh.
Um,
Oh. 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 Oh.
Jabba is honestly, my pick could have gone either way here. It really, really could have. Um, Jabba is a cool, well, not
Space
cool.
gangster.
He's a gross, nasty slug monster,
Mhm.
like crime lord. But part of
Yeah.
that makes me like him because he's a fucking crime lord, and the Huts are like so weird.
Yeah.
Um,
They're a crime organization. They're space gangsters, man.
Also, I don't know why I didn't put two T's when I put Jabba the Hutt in here. Maybe I
Yeah.
accidentally deleted one.
Yeah.
Um,
I was like, oh, he's missing the T in there.
yeah, that's not right. That's just a typo on my part. I know how to put Hutt in there. I promise. Anyway,
Yeah.
I ended up not going with Jabba here. I ended up going with Kylo. Emo Kylo Ren. Um,
As I like to call him, Krylo Ben. Yeah.
hmm I don't share some of the same opinions as some people with Kylo. Um, I think he's a very complicated character. Um, I think they do him kind of shitty in a couple of the movies where he could have been a better character than he actually is. Um,
Agreed.
um, but that's for another day. Um,
For another time.
um, Basically, what I ended up going with here is just overall just who looked cooler, and I think Kylo looked pretty dope with his. He got the crossguard saber
Yeah, I
and the
mean his whole look in The Force Awakens like is fucking great. Like
mhm.
he's got the helmet and the hood over the helmet and like the little scarf thing and you know the robes with the crossguard. Yeah, it's a great look.
So really, this could have gone either way. You know, Jabba kind of cracks me up sometimes the way he laughs and
Oh,
fucking
oh,
throwing
oh,
his
oh,
big ass
oh.
arms around and knocking three
Ah,
PO
ah, ah.
over and
Fucking during the pod race in episode 1, he's like eating like frogs or whatever, and he like sees one walking on the ledge, and he just like flicks it, and that shit
flicks it off.
flies over there.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just like stand over here in front of my Sarlacc pit so I can drop you in, you dumb bitch. Like
Mm-hmm.
just stuff like that is like fucking hilarious.
Uh, but yeah, really this one could have gone either way. Really, it really could. Like, I know we say that with a lot of these, but this one really truly could have like
Okay, gotcha.
give me like 30 seconds and I could have went with Jabba. As
Mm,
I was sitting here thinking of who I like more after the pick, like looking comparison them up, like I could have easily swapped. Like it's that easy
I gotcha.
for me with these two. They're just so close. How about you, bud? What'd you go with?
I went with Kylo. Uh, Jabba's Jabba's a really cool, or he's a really he's like one of those like underground or not underground. He's an underworld villain. He's not like the big bad villain like a Vader or like a Kylo or like some of these other guys, but he's there in the back doing his thing. And that's cool. You don't always need you know a Kylo Ren or a Vader or a Sidious or some of these other guys that are like the big bads. You can have
Mm-hmm.
a Jabba and a Cad Bane or a few of these other dudes that are not like force strong in the force and all this other stuff. So yeah, Jabba's cool. We have him in Phantom Menace. We have him in Clone Wars. And then he's in A New Hope for a bit, and then Return of the Jedi, and I think that's the gist of Jabba. But yeah, I like Jabba, but I think I just like of these two, like I was always probably gonna choose Kylo. Kylo's Kylo, man. Like again, just from the look, from the saber, from like I may not be like the biggest fan of what they did with him in the movies. Um, like I felt like they should have gone one way, and they yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna get into that, but I think like just based like again, just even based off his look alone, like that already like over Jabba. Like I'm sorry, Jabba. Like I think you're cool, but Kylo just looks alone. He already looks like a gajillion times better. Um, and I was a pretty big fan of like just before we knew like anything. Like if we go back to 2015, you know, before Force Awakens came out, like when we just saw the teasers and the trailers and you know the pictures and the images and the art and all that stuff of Kylo, I was like, this dude looks fucking cool, man. Like I fucked with the whole look and the cross guard and everything, and you know
Mm-hmm.
again I may not be the biggest fan of what ultimately ended up happening to the character, but you know I still think out of these two I would go with Kylo, and I did. So yeah, I went with Kylo Ren.
Respect. All right. Moving up just a little bit to number 11. Lando Calrissian versus Revan from Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, this is just Lando just got the short end of the stick on this one for me. I just be honest with you, like I like him. He's cool. He's suave. He wears these really cool outfits.
He has a fucking cape closet. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Um, you know, a little bit of a schemer, little bit of a liar, a little bit of a scoundrel. I like the character. I actually love the character of Lando. Like
He's great. Yeah.
um, played by Billy D. Williams, who I also adore. Um,
Code 45.
unfortunately, he goes up against one of the, in my opinion, one of the absolute coolest characters in all of Star Wars. You know, Revan in Knights of the Old Republic. From his look to his story, um, uh, yes, Revan to his like conflict between light and dark, or their conflict, I should say, between light and dark is so compelling, and you know, whenever they come out with a pop or a Black Series, and I know Daniel can agree with me here, whenever they come out with some collectible that has Revan's mask on it or some character part of them, the first thing we do is try to get our hands on one as soon as we can, like because we love that character.
I have.
Um,
I'm staring at the Black Series right now. I have him. You guys can't see him, but I see him. He's dead ahead for me.
yep,
The
mine are back
the
there. They're in boxes.
Black Series is over there. I'm currently, as we speak, trying to hunt down a Darth Revan Funko Pop because I need it. Josh and I both pre-ordered the one where we get uh the Jedi Revan and Bastila, but I want the Darth Revan pop.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to hunt one of these down for like a couple days now, and it's tough because you know they're a little, it can be a little pricey, but I'm trying to get me a Revan pop. So that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I mean I'm
Mm-hmm.
with Josh. Like we anytime like when I remember when the Black Series came out, it was tough to find, and then like they restocked them, and I was like, oh, I gotta get it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, dude, red and purple lightsabers, you know, black and red armor, and like just it's such a cool. It's again, I was talking about Kylo Ren's look. This is the guy, the same thing that has another cool ass look. Like Revan looks badass, dude.
Mm-hmm. Just here's the thing with Revan. You don't get just Revan in Knights of the Old Republic. You get so much backstory and history on Revan in Knights of the Old Republic 2 that it adds so much to that mystique and character. You get so much history. Um, that just ah, there's nothing more to say. Like Lando was just outclassed by miles for me here.
Like
Like,
I know to a lot of people they would say, "Oh, the only reason you love Revan is because you play as him in the game or whatever." You know,
hmm
like you are Revan or whatever.
yeah,
It's like, I mean, sure, but I
yeah.
still
I'm in
think
the Star
Revan.
Wars universe. Of course, I'm gonna vote for me, fool.
Yeah, but it's like the character is a character itself. Like to me, Revan is a dude.
hmm
Like the way that I always thought about it, because this is how, like, back when there was multiple levels of canon for Star Wars, it was always Revan was the male and the Exile was the female. That's how I always thought about it, because that's how to me it was in the old, like, multiple levels of canon type deal. So your character in KOTOR 1, which is, the one you get to play as, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, you play as Revan. To me, it was a dude, and then in the second game, the Exile was the female, like, was the girl, like, so that's
hmm
how I always thought about it personally. I mean, everybody, obviously when you play the game, you get to create your own character and do whatever you want, but that's how I always, yeah, that's how I always thought of it, personally. But yeah, I mean, I I I don't know if I said who I chose already, but I also went with Revan. Um, Again, Lando's a really cool character. I'm curious what maneuver he did at the Battle of Tanab that we still haven't seen yet. Um, but yeah, again, just Revan is just to me on another level. Like he's, again, like Josh says, he's one of those dudes where it's like, again, as we speak right now. I mean, not literally right now because I'm doing the podcast, but like I've been trying to hunt down a fucking Darth Revan pop because I like it's sold out on GameStop. So I'm like, I'm trying to get me one, and it's like, where can I get one? I want one. But yeah, so I've been doing that, and then yeah, I mean, Revan is just like, I don't know. There's just something about, I have a strong affinity and love for the characters of Knights of the Old Republic. To me, it's one of the greatest. It's my favorite game of all time, but it's also one of the greatest Star Wars stories of all time, in my opinion. Like it's up there with any of the Star Wars stories. Like I'll take the story of KOTOR up against Empire, or up against, whatever Star Wars story you want to put it up against. I really 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 like KOTOR's story a lot. So yeah, I mean, and Revan is the driving force behind that. So Revan and Bastila, they're the two. So
hmm
I gotta go with Revan. I'm sorry, Lando. But again, this is, you're just, you're going up against Revan, and people who don't know about Revan would obviously choose Lando. But I mean, we know Revan and we love him, so we
yeah,
gotta go Revan, dude. Like, I'm sorry, Lando. Like, you're great, but you know. And then, Lando's been around for a while too. Like, he was in Solo and Rebels and, you know, Empire and Jedi. Then again, he was in the Rise of Skywalker, for a bit, and but yeah, Revan it is.
all right. Let's move on to number 12. Where is number 12?
Number 12. Where is number 12? That is, where is it?
I've lost it. 12.
Oh, I see it. It's above.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Found it.
it's in between Bastila, Chewie, and Dooku Ray.
Yeah,
This is a good one.
this is a good one. This is a toughie. Um, if I would love to see this on screen, actually, like this is like one of those. I would like to see these two characters talk to each other, because I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
yeah, I don't want to see them fight, but I like to see them like interact like that.
yeah,
That would.
no, like this is like in my fan because like there's a matchup later on that I'm like, oh, I have an idea for this and I would love to see it. Um,
Okay. All right. All right.
but I'll tell you about it when we get to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So number 12 is Kanan Jarrus versus Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a tricky one, because I love Kanan,
Yep, Kanan's a
from Rebels.
fantastic character.
Fantastic, badass smuggler slash Jedi slash little bit of a scoundrel. Um, um, Voiced by the awesome Freddie Prince Jr.
Mhm.
Um,
Which by the way, we recently had a little bit of a Kanan slash Caleb Doom in the Bad Batch, which is great.
mhm. And I especially I just love him. I just love Freddie Prince Jr. in general. He's great. He's a gamer. He's been voices in a lot of games I've played. Um, uh, but he's going up against, you know, the hero. You know that we see their journey, his journey through uh his three movies. You know, and from farm boy to Jedi Knight slash Master. You know, Luke Skywalker. You know,
The fucking binary sunset, dude.
you
Like
know, hmm hero. You know,
hero of the
hero,
rebellion.
rebel hero. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, destroyer of the Death Star,
Mm-hmm.
and redeemer of fallen Jedi because he redeems Vader at the end,
Yeah.
and then it's just
Redeemer of the chosen one. Like that.
uh,
What a thing, huh?
yeah, and like a lot played by Mark Hamill, who I love in anything.
I love
Like
Mark, man. He's one of my favorite people ever. Like he's the best, dude.
who I stole like not stole, but I like inspires my villain as Jackson Tannis from D&D is inspired. Like when I picture that character, I picture an older Mark Hamill with like a beard and like like uh, I Luke's journey is your journey, and I very much ended up going with Luke here. Even though I love Kanan, like this isn't being like I hate Kanan or anything like that. That's not true. I love Kanan Jarrus um in Rebels, but Luke is one of my absolute favorite characters in all of Star Wars. He looks so cool in Return of the Jedi with the black outfit and the green saber and
That's my
just
favorite. It's my favorite version of Luke, man. Is
mm-hmm.
the all black with the green set. I'll get into it when I talk about it. But go ahead, Josh.
And it's so cool seeing him because he's got this swagger in Return of the Jedi and like a confidence and his abilities. Like, so Luke wins here for me, man.
I'm gonna go ahead and go off the bat and say that Luke wins for me too. I like Kanan Jarrus. He's my favorite character in Star Wars Rebels. His journey is phenomenal as well. Uh, but um, sorry, Kanan, you're going up against Luke Skywalker, and Luke to me has been one of my favorite characters out of all Star Wars. When I as a kid when I watched the original trilogy for the first time, or all the times I rewatched it or whatever, Luke was always my guy. Return of the Jedi Luke is one of my favorite characters of all fucking time. There are pictures of me as a kid dressed up for like Halloween or something as that Luke. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's little kid of me with the all black and the green lightsaber and everything, and that's my Luke, dude. Like when I tell you that when I saw Luke show up in the Mandalorian in the finale of the Mandalorian, the emotions I felt, man. Like
Bruh.
I didn't cry, but like if I had been, I don't know, dude. Like it was one of those things where it's like if I'd have been a little bit more emotional or whatever, I probably would have cried, man. Like seeing Luke again, like, and it was Mark Hamill who did the the voice and stuff again, and I mean, like I just man, Luke is again one of my favorite characters of all time. Seeing him again in Mando, like it was it was like one of those things where it's like, man, very rarely do I feel like this watching a TV show or something, like It's very, very, very rare. Like I had several moments like that in the Mandalorian season 2. But I mean, like Star Wars usually does that to me, like more so than any other stuff. But yeah, like I just when I think of Luke Skywalker, I think of all black, black glove, green lightsaber with the hood on, and the the cape and the robe and everything, the
Mm-hmm.
cloak rather, I guess is what it's called. Like that's my Luke right there. Um, so yeah, I mean Luke, just legendary Jedi, legendary character, badass. You know, again the just the swag of like walking into Jabba's palace and force choking the shit out of two Gamorrean guards. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
like man, just what a character. You go from whiny I want to go to Touch Station to pick up some power converters in A New
Converters.
Hope to fucking the badass that he becomes in Return of the Jedi and Mandalorian, and it's like, dude, man, what a character, man. Like I love Luke. And then yeah, a big part of that is Mark Hamill. Like I love Mark. He's one of my favorite humans like ever. Like Mark is the man, dude. Like I've been fortunate enough to have been to one of his shows at Star Wars Celebration. And let me tell you that Mark Hamill he couldn't happen to a better dude, man. He's great, man. I love the man. I really do. He's
Mm-hmm.
incredible. So yeah, Luke over Kanan, but again, Kanan Jarrus is also a fantastic character. If you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, you're missing out because Kanan is he has a hell of a journey in that show, man, and he's my favorite character of that group of rebels. Like him and Sabine are like my two favorites. They're all great though. Chopper, Hera, Zeb, they all have their moments, you know. But yeah, Kanan is he's fucking badass. But I mean, yeah, Luke, you're going up against Luke. I'm sorry, Kanan.
All right. Moving on to 13, which is just below.
Yep, Dooku Ray.
We have Count Dooku versus Rey. I want to start off with saying like I like Rey in the Force Awakens.
Hmm.
Um, and then my like for her kind of goes down in the next couple movies.
Gotcha.
She's a cool character. Um, a great character for like my nieces and stuff. But I have some issues with Rey that kind of drove her down with my popularity a little bit personally. But I don't want to focus on negative things. Uh, I ended up going with Dooku here. Um, and the biggest reason I went with Dooku here is just for he fucking fights Obi-Wan, he fucking fights Anakin, he fucking fights Yoda. Like either together or one after the other, right? Like he's fucking Count or Darth Tyrannus. Like
Tyrannus Count Dooku, man. Yeah, he's a badass, dude. He's I feel he's another underrated character. Like
yeah.
he doesn't get as much like there are people that are like Dooku fans, like for sure. But I feel like he doesn't get as much like when you talk about like the Sith, the Sith lords and all this other stuff, like you usually hear Sidious, you usually hear Vader, some of these other guys like and I guess more recently, like if you're talking like strictly Darksiders, you throw like Kylo in there or whatever, because
Mm-hmm.
he's the newer dude in town. But Dooku is like he gets thrown in there for sure, but like he doesn't get as much talked about as some of these other guys. So yeah,
But we're gonna talk
I
about him now. Put some respect on Dooku, because
put
that
some
son of a
respect
bitch
on the count, man. Yeah.
he throws down. He throws down with Obi
Also
Wan, Anakin, and fucking Yoda. All right, like
portrayed by the great Sir Christopher Lee, man.
absolutely.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I also went with Count Dooku over Ray. I mean, I also like Ray. I don't dislike her. Ray Palpatine, aka Ray Skywalker. Now, um, she's I also really like her intro in The Force Awakens. I love her theme, dude. Ray's theme is one of my one of the best little uh themes that John Williams ever came up with for Star Wars. Like it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then yeah, her character is cool. Like I also agree with you. Like she's a cool female character for uh the modern generation of girls and women to look up to and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
in that regard, it's cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't actually dislike her like other people do. I think I actually do like her. Um, like the whole thing of like her being like so like too overpowered or whatever. I I can kind of buy it now that we know she was like is a Palpatine, like canonically like Palpatine is strong in the Force. Like it doesn't like it wouldn't. It's not a big surprise to me that like that would go into her, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
like she'd be able to pick up the Force kind of easy with that kind of stuff. Like once they you know like it's is it convenient? Sure, but I mean like they had to explain it somehow, right? I mean whatever. Like I can buy it now that we know that information. But so I mean I don't really like hate it too much, but there are some things that like the movies could have done a better job at and everything of course. But I mean I don't want to shit on the sequels today for our bracket thing. So we'll just go with yeah, I like Count Dooku. I think he's underrated. He was he was trained by Yoda. Um he was the Jedi Master of Qui-Gon Jinn, which you talked about earlier, which is another underrated character in my opinion. He obviously so he trained Qui-Gon, Qui-Gon trained Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan trained Anakin. So I mean, right there you have a pretty badass lineage of Jedi from one to another.
Yep.
And then like you said, he would often fight Anakin and Obi-Wan like at the same time, and that alone I think is pretty fucking badass. He went toe to toe with Yoda in Attack of the Clones. They were throwing shit at each other and lightning, and if our skills of the Force cannot be matched. I mean, I forget the exact wording, but he's like, then we must test our skills with a lightsaber, and then we get to see Yoda with a lightsaber for the first time, and he jumps around, and
Mm-hmm.
it's cool as fuck, and yeah, Dooku, leader of the separatist movement, of the separatist, uh organization or movement, the alliance. He was the dude that like as soon as he died, Newt Gunray was like, "Yo, Grievous, you want us to go with you, but like Dooku's gone, dude. Like we don't trust you, man. Like you're not Dooku. You're just a fucking cyborg, my guy." So yeah, Dooku, yeah, he's the dude that recruited Jango Fett to become the template for the clone army. Uh, Apprentice to Sidious. He knew some of the grand plan. Obviously, he didn't know everything because he was kind of blindsided there at his death. Uh, but yeah, he's a pretty damn good character, I'd say. Um, I think another one of those dudes that maybe deserves a little bit more respect. But yeah, um, of the two of Dooku and Ray, I think I gotta go with Dooku. Which again, I don't hate Ray. Like I don't want anyone thinking that because
Yeah, I don't either.
I actually like Ray more than most people. I don't mind her a whole lot compared to like some of the other haters on the interwebs. Like I don't I'm not gonna give her shit for stupid stuff. For me, it's just more of issue with like story things and people that wrote the movies and that kind of thing. I love Daisy Ridley. I love. I think the character of Ray was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, Dooku is just he's like he's Dooku, man. Like Christopher Lee and the cape, and he's a count for fuck's sake, man. Like come on, man.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Uh, 14.
14. 14, we have Han or Han Solo, depending on how
Yeah,
you want to say it.
Han,
Uh,
Han or Han Solo versus Din Djarin.
Din Djarin. I had a hard
All
time
right.
with this one.
Okay.
You know,
Who'd you
I
go? Who'd you
really,
end up going with?
I ended up going with the Din. Um,
Oh, damn. Okay.
Now, look, that is not to say I don't love Han. All right, I
Mhm.
fucking love Han Solo. I do. Harrison Ford is great. You know, he's a lovable scoundrel that is still a hero in his heart that comes and and bails Luke out at the end of A New Hope, right? Like, uh,
Oh, clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
go
Dun
home. It
dun
has
dun 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 dun
some
dun.
of the
Blow up the Death
greatest
Star.
lines in the movies.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeehaw!
you know, um,
Uh, yeah.
the "I love you, I know" is my favorite, one of my favorite lines with Leia.
That was fucking improvised too on Harrison Ford's part, the I know
Mhm.
part too. So that's pretty pretty great. It's like it's such a badass thing, you know?
I love Han. Like was a hard choice,
Yeah.
but the Mandalorian man, Din Djarin,
Mm-hmm.
the fucking oh my god, his growth over 2 seasons of Mando is so good that he like who he becomes to to like becoming almost like a father to the child and protecting it and trying to find its place
I
and
have to
just in
take
terms
him
of
to an
looks
yeah. He's
looks bad the fuck ass, dude.
again, when I first saw the picture when they were announcing the Mandalorian TV show and you see this dude dressed up in Mando armor, I was on board the second I saw the picture of him in his armor. Again, I'm a huge Mandalorian fan. Like before the show, you guys heard me talk earlier about Django and Boba. Like I have always been a fan of just the Mando culture, the armor, the look, the everything, just the characters. Like I've always been a fan of Mandalorians. Like the Mandalorian mercs, like those guys are fucking badass too. And anyway, Josh is talking. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I get
No,
excited
you
about.
good, bro. Feel free to pop in whenever you want to because we both love these characters, so
Yeah,
it's very easy to get to talk about them. Um, just it's funny watching him in his code from season one to the finale of the last season, with the helmet never coming off except for like a couple moments.
Mhm.
The voiced and played by
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal, yeah, and like who is able to. That's another thing, able to like make his voice shake when something's emotional that his character needs to convey through just the
Yeah,
voice and body
you can
language.
like
Like,
hear it, even though you can't see his face, but you can tell what he's feeling.
yeah, I think that would be so fucking hard to do. Like, I love both these characters, but I ended up going with the Din Djarin just because his character growth over 2 seasons and the
Yeah.
acting by Pedro Pascal and I can't wait for more Mando when it comes back. So,
I mean, we're all waiting on it, man.
hmm I'm curious to see where that story goes next. Um,
So all right, okay.
I'm done. If you wanna
Yeah,
go with
I was
who
just
you
gonna say,
got.
I thought I was gonna be the one with the hot take and pick Din because I picked Din Djarin as well because like a lot of people are gonna be like, how dare you choose the Mando over Han, like Han is Han or whatever. I'm gonna be honest, like when I Han was never really like my favorite character, like when I watched the original trilogy, like Luke was always my guy. So like
hmm
Han was just like he was just the other dude. Like when I was younger, like he was just the other guy. Like I was never really, I just never really like I never like could relate to Han, or like he just wasn't my guy. Like I was always Luke. Like I was always the Luke dude, you know. So like, which again is not to say that like I hated the character or anything, or anything like that, but he just wasn't like my favorite. Like I was always a Luke dude. Uh, Harrison was like, "Yo, fucking kill me in Return of the Jedi," and it didn't happen. And he got his wish in Force Awakens finally, but and like for me, like my favorite Harrison Ford character was always like Indiana Jones. Like I always like Indiana more than Han, and like more than any of his other characters. So I was always like, yeah, I like Indy more than Han. Like all right, Han's cool, but whatever. So when I was younger, this has more to do when I was younger. Like I always like thought Han was he's whatever. Like he was just a dude, that was in the movies, and he has a Millennium Falcon, but what a piece of junk, and whatever. So I didn't hate the guy, but he was just like he wasn't my I just wasn't the biggest fan of him. I've definitely come to appreciate Han more, uh, like as I've gotten older. Like I think like I can see why everybody likes the dude a lot. The whole "I love you, I know," like you said, is just great, and like the jokes that he has and the things that he says and does and stuff. Like he's kind of a bit of a, like, if you think about it, he's a he's kind of a like different kind of character for Star Wars. Like he does stuff that like because he's like the Force. Like I've never hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid. And he's like the different, like he's like the contrarian dude. Like he doesn't,
Mhm.
like, everybody knows about the Force and everybody's heard about the Jedi, and he hasn't. He's just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I've never had anything to do with whatever your nonsense you're saying. So he's always been like that, that kind of guy.
Mhm.
Um. So yeah, I mean, I've so yeah, he was never my favorite, but I've learned to appreciate the character more as I've gotten older. But I mean, I chose Din because I mean, again, I'm a say it again. I love Mandalorians, and Din is a fantastic Mandalorian. From his shitty armor in season one, like the brown one. I love that. Like that, I thought that was fucking cool. To from that to the full on Beskar, and all the different, like, just the disruptor rifle, the disintegrating
Mhm.
rifle. I thought was fucking amazing. His pistol is pretty cool. The Beskar spear that he has nowadays is so cool. Um, and like he just looks cool, and he's got the jetpack, and I mean I loved his ship, the Razor Crest, before it got blown up. He's just the cool. He's one of the cooler modern Star Wars characters, in my opinion. Like I just
I agree.
earlier earlier I was talking about how like like I how some we haven't had as much time with some of these newer ones to appreciate them fully and whatnot. I feel the full opposite effect of that for Din. Like he's just like his everything with that guy. Like we've only had him for like 2 years, and I already like he's one of my favorite characters of all time now. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see where the rest of his journey takes him, and just I'm excited, man, from more of that, and I love Pedrito Pascal as him, the character, and let's also not forget to mention Brendan Wayne and shit, I forget the other guy's name, but there's like it's basically a team of three guys that played Din Djarin. It's Pedro and
Yes.
then the other two guys, that do him as well. So shout out to all three of those dudes, man. They all, because of them, we love this character of Din Djarin so much, and they all kill it, and they all do great. And yeah, I mean, sorry Han, but like you were never my favorite. I've learned to appreciate you more within the past however many years, but Din is just Din. Like I'm a Mando dude, man. I'm sorry.
This is the way.
This is the way,
Uh,
man.
all right, and that's the way that is. Moving on to 15. We're getting to the final stretches of the first round after 2 hours. Um,
I know this is going on for a bit longer than I thought, to be honest. We'll probably try
it's
to go a
fine.
little bit.
Well, here's
Yeah,
the thing: when we get to the other rounds, it's going to go quicker because we don't have to explain our reasoning as much. I don't
yeah,
think.
yeah. That's what I
Um,
was thinking too. Yeah. So number
uh,
15, we have
Commander Rex versus R2D2.
Captain slash
Um,
Commander X versus R2. Yeah.
yeah. So I ended up going with Rex here. Um, I love R2. Um, uh, for something that you never really truly understand, a droid that doesn't talk other than beeps and chirps and screeches and screams. A lot of people love that character. I love R2D2. I love that character. Um, an unconventional hero for Star Wars. I really like. Um, but I went with Rex here. Uh,
Oh man. Okay.
uh, for a lot of reasons. Because this dude is all over, Clone Wars and Rebels, and they so popular they snuck him into to Endor, kind of as a little nod, and
Yeah.
um, really the ultimate thing that kind of steals him here for me is just that those final few episodes of Clone Wars, him and Ahsoka and
The
their
Siege of
relationship.
Mandalore is fan fucking tastic.
Uh, I had to go with Rex here for those reasons. He's a badass, man.
He
He's
is.
cool.
He is a badass.
And I like him a lot, so I gave him
Give
the
him
nod.
the nod over R2. I got you.
Yeah, I did. What about
Uh,
you?
I went with R2.
Hey,
I had
that's
to go
fair.
with R2, man. R2D2 is the unsung, well, not unsung hero, but he's like anytime these motherfuckers need to get bailed out, who's there? R2, dude.
It's true.
R2 is the real MVP, man. He is in literally every single movie or of the Skywalker saga, I mean. He is in all of the Skywalker saga films. He's even in Rogue One for like a cameo, him and 3PO. He's in Clone Wars. He's in not well. He is in Rebels. He's in like in a couple episodes of Rebels, I think.
Hmm.
He's yeah. R2 is just like the most reliable droid ever. Like most people treat droids like they're just like I was just watching the Clone Wars episode the other day. Like the Jedi are just like, all right, here's like what the hell is this droid doing here? Like whose droid is this or whatever? And it's like, oh, that's Anakin's droid R2, and he's like, all right, well, you're clearly in a hurry to share this message, so go ahead and do it. And it's like the one where I don't know if you remember in Clone Wars where Boba tries to get revenge on Mace, and he tries to like blow up a whole like Jedi, Star Destroyer with them on it, and like Anakin and Mace get trapped, and they send R2 for help. And Mace is kind of like skeptical, like, "Yo, is your droid gonna come through? Like, why did we just see your droid fly off in my ship being chased by the Slave One? Like I thought he was supposed to call for help. Why is he leaving?" And R2 pulls through every time, dude. He never fails. R2 is the real MVP, man. If
I
you
know
need a
you. Yeah.
droid, if you need a droid to get shit done, it's gonna be R2. If R2 fights other droids, he fucks them up. Like again in Clone Wars when he fought Goldie, dude, he tore that ass up, man. He said, "Get the hell out of here."
If ever there was a droid that could have possibly been force sensitive, it had to be R2D2 because the dude
I
is
mean,
everywhere.
yeah, R2 is everywhere. He gets shit done. He's the most reliable droid ever. I mean, that's yeah. So I gotta go with R2. Like I'm like
Hey,
Rex, Captain Rex is cool. Um, but if I'm being honest, he's not even my favorite clone. Like, he's cool and all, but like if for those of you who have watched the Micro series, my boy Captain Fordo though, that dude's badass.
Yeah,
He
he
doesn't
is.
get he doesn't get the dialogue that Rex does, but he gets to fuck shit up like no other bit like no nobody else's business, man. Uh, but yeah, R2 over Rex for me because R2's just he's R2, man. Like he just he'll never fail you. But I respect your choice of Rex because he is pretty cool. We have
Yeah.
him in several things, you know. So he's cool. I actually when they cast Tamura in Mandalorian, I thought maybe we were gonna get like an older Rex or something too, you know, in addition to
Yeah.
Boba. So I'd be curious if they ever gonna bring him into live action. But
Me too.
yeah, man, good solid options here either way.
Yeah. All right. Final matchup.
I don't want a round one.
Uh, Anakin Skywalker, Hera Syndulla. I love Hera. She just
I do
got the
too.
bad luck of
I think
being
she's fantastic.
put up against
The literal chosen one.
yeah. Um, Hera's great in Rebels. So I love her character, her art, her stories there. Her design, just her. She's great. I love her.
Hera's awesome. For those of you, uh, hopefully if you're well, I mean, we've spoiled some stuff here and there throughout this episode, but try not to go into too much because I know there are
Yeah,
people out there who may be watching this that haven't seen all of the shows and stuff. But yeah, definitely check out Rebels if you haven't, because Hera is she's the space mom, man. She holds the team together. She's the pilot. She's a badass. You know, she's a general. She ends up becoming a general. Like she's awesome. Like Hera's really cool. But I mean, it's tough when you're going up against Anakin. I'm sorry.
yeah. It is. It's a little unfair. Um. Uh. In another spot against another character, she could have won out here,
Yep,
but she
I
got.
agree. And like all of these matchups could have gone completely differently if they were randomized differently. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yep.
But this is just the way the cookie crumbled this time around, man. Like that's the
That's
way
the
it
way it
is.
is. Yeah. So
So yeah,
yeah, Anakin moves on for me.
same. I also chose Anakin. I love Hera, but Anakin is the chosen one, and you gotta go with him, dude. I mean, there is no Vader on this list, so I assume we're counting both Anakin and Vader as the
That's what I
same, you know.
was. That's what I was.
Yeah, because
The reason they're not both on here is because he wouldn't fit in the slot of the name slot.
yeah,
Like I was
no,
gonna
it's
do like
fine.
a slash. Uh,
Yeah, like I know that there are other like there's like video games and stuff that like separate the two. Like one, like here you play as Vader and like Battlefront 2, for example, you have Anakin and Vader. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So like there are I've seen lists where it's like they separate Anakin and Vader even though they're the same person. But yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. So we're yeah, and so like Anakin alone would have been enough for me to include like choose him over Hera, but since we're counting Vader as well, like yeah, I'm sorry Hera, but
Mhm.
Vader and Anakin combined is too strong.
Too strong.
And I
All
believe
right.
that's our round one over, huh?
Round one completed. Uh. All right. I'm gonna go down the list here and read up what we got
Name
for the
off
next
your
round.
matchup. Yeah.
My matchups for the next round are Yoda versus Anakin slash Vader.
Yep. Same. I
Um,
have that one as well.
Next up, I have Grand Admiral Thrawn versus Darth Sidious.
Mine's different.
Uh, Next up, I have Bastila Shan or Sean against Luke Skywalker. Ooh, that's
Oof.
gonna be toughy.
I have that one too.
Um, Count Dooku versus Darth Maul is my next matchup.
I also have that one.
Next up, I have Ahsoka Tano versus Din Djarin.
Same.
After that, I have Revan from Knights of the Old Republic against Ezra Bridger. What I was gonna say was this matchup, Daniel, was the Revan Ezra one. Bro, Master and Apprentice right here. That shit would be crazy. Like I would love to see that. Um, Next up, Princess Leia versus Kylo Ren.
Same.
And then after that, I have Commander Rex versus Obi-Wan
The
Kenobi.
one. Interesting. Okay. So I'll name off mine really quick. I have some of the same ones as Josh, but some of the other ones are different for me. Yoda versus Anakin, Mace versus Sidious, Bastila versus Luke, Dooku versus Maul, Ahsoka versus Din Djarin, Revan versus 3PO, Leia versus Kylo, and R2 versus Obi-Wan. So those are my
All
matchups.
right. I'm gonna hide my bracket while I make my selections.
Alrighty then, let's fill these out.
This is not easy.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh
dun.
God, damn it! Oh goodness gracious. Um,
There it is. Josh has to deliberate with himself.
yeah, I'm thinking. This is my thinking. This isn't I'm done. This is me. I'm trying to figure out.
Well, while you do that, I gotta take a quick bathroom break, but
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Do what
I'll
you
be
got to
right back.
do. I'm gonna go over to the solo cam, just so Daniel's not like in my name, so people don't get confused. Hi. We'll wait for Daniel to come back. Um, so I'm having to make my pick here, guys, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know. Yeah, 5 hour stream. No, we are at 3 hours. Um, I don't know. I'm having a hard time here, man. I'm having a hard time with this one. I really am. Fuck me. Guess we're gonna have to go with this. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Ah, feel like I'm doing some betraying. Oh, oh man. Okay, okay. My picks. My picks are in, guys. My picks are in. Was not easy. Again, if you're watching this, I'm going to um post this bracket, a clean bracket, in case you guys want to do it yourselves in the Clockwork Cantina channel on Daniel's Discord. So if you want to do it, join the Discord and come to that channel and grab it out of there, and then mark it yourselves, however you want. You can also make the bracket on Bracket HQ, which is the website we're using for this, by the way. Um, Super useful bracket that Majin was the original person that showed it to us. Appreciate that, Majin. Thank you very much for showing this to us for that last bracket. And I used it to make this one, which is nice. It has a lot of cool options on here. So if you like brackets, which I didn't know I liked brackets until Daniel showed them to me. We
Hey, I'm
Hey,
back
you're
by the way.
back. Sweet. Let's go
Uh,
back to the two
yeah,
person call.
yeah. Josh really enjoyed that. The gaming bracket. I believe it was the gaming bracket, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we did. Yeah. So he really liked that, and he's like, "Oh, I want to do another one. We should do another one." And it's like, "All right, Star Wars
They're
character
fun.
bracket."
They're fun. I like them.
Yeah. So yeah,
We
sorry about
definitely
that. I had to go take a
get another
bathroom break
feature.
real quick. What I should have done is we should have taken a break during like after the news, but whatever.
Hey,
It's
it's
fine.
cool. Uh, it's fine because we got to chat a bit. My picks are in, Daniel. Are you picks in?
Um, no, but I can get them
Okay.
done here pretty quick. Like I
All
I I
right.
I
It's cool.
I, I know my choices. I just have to like. I mean, if you want, we can start talking about it. I'm just like filling them out on the chart
No,
here
it's cool. It's cool. We
for the
can wait.
bracket here.
And it's more fun to kind of be a little bit of a surprise. I had a hard time with some of these, man. They were
Yeah, some of these choices are a little they are a bit difficult. Like for me, especially like in the top part of the bracket, there was some matchups that I'm like, I am
mm-hmm.
so sorry, but you got to choose. I'm looking at
Yeah.
some of these matchups for next round. I'm like, sheesh, man, that is that is brutal.
Yes, sir. It sure is.
Uh,
Uh,
but it is what it is, right? All right, my picks
That's
are in.
what it
My
is.
my my picks are locked in as well.
All
I'm good to
right.
go. So if we want to go ahead and
The
do 'em.
reveal.
So how do you want to do this? You want to just do since our matchups are different this time, you want to just do all of yours and then I'll do all of mine,
Yeah,
or
we
you
can do
want to,
that.
or do you want to just do it the same way we did it before?
We can do all mine, and then you can do all of yours. That might make it go a little bit quicker too.
All right,
Um,
go ahead. You do yours then.
um, for the first matchup, I had Yoda versus Anakin Skywalker. I ended up going with or slash Vader. I ended up going with Vader here. Uh,
Mm.
uh, for the hallway scene from Rogue One, which is so fucking badass. So
That
like you know,
that's it's a good scene, man. It's a good it's
um,
top tier for sure.
so that's what swayed me here for the Anakin pick, Vader pick. Next
Hmm.
up, I had Grand Admiral Thrawn versus Sidious. I went with Sidious here because goddamn, that dude's got patience and is a schemer. And I like
Yeah,
Thrawn, but Sidious comes out
absolutely.
ahead here.
Yeah.
Next one was the one I had the hardest time with because I love both of these characters a lot. I fell in love with one of them and just love the other one.
Yeah.
Um,
Luke and Bastila.
Luke Skywalker and Bastila Shan. I ended up going with Luke here. Just because he wins out because I was a kid when I met Luke, and I have all that nostalgia is helping a great deal here. Um, Still
Yeah,
love
man.
Bastila a lot, and I wish I could have against anybody else. She would have probably moved on, but she went up against one of my absolute favorite characters in all of Star Wars. Um, so unfortunately, she got edged out here. Respect to you though, Bastila. Love you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Call me. Count Dooku and Darth Maul are next. Um, Maul wins out against Dooku here for me. With his history across movies and shows, he just kind of to me he blows Dooku in the dust, which I love Dooku anyway, or like
Mm-hmm.
Dooku anyway, and it's a
Ah,
great character. But Maul
yeah.
kind of blows him away for me.
Yeah.
Um, Next up, I have Ahsoka Tano versus Din Djarin.
Yep.
Another tough choice. I really like Ahsoka.
This is a tough one for me. It was
Mm,
tough too.
yeah, but I ultimately ended up going with Din Djarin just because I think the performance of Pedro and those other actors there are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, which is to say, I still love Ahsoka as well. That goes for all these characters. That goes for all these characters. Like anybody I love all of them. Next up, I have Revan from Knights of the Old Republic against Ezra Bridger. I love Ezra, but he ain't got nothing on Revan. No offense to Ezra. I like him a lot. Uh, Next up, I have Princess Leia versus Kylo Ren. I ended up going with Leia here. I
Mm-hmm.
like her story a lot more than Kylo's, and um, she's just a strong female badass warrior character. And
Yep.
then last, I had Commander Rex versus Obi Wan Kenobi, and I ended up going with Obi Wan because he's a fucking cool character. That I love. That edges out Rex just a bit more.
Gotcha.
So those are my winners. Who did you have, Daniel, as your winners?
All right. So my matchups were Yoda versus Anakin, and I went with Yoda. Uh,
Ah,
yeah. I like Anakin slash Vader. Uh, but I think Yoda, like, he's just the wise uh Jedi that he's one of the greatest Jedi of all time, and I explained a little bit about him earlier, but like through all the stuff that we get to see him in, through you know all the movies, he has a fucking fantastic arc in season 6 of Clone Wars where he meets like Darth Bane, and he's with the Force priestesses and all this other stuff, like all that Force stuff, like that is fantastic. And even though I am not a fan of The Last Jedi, I thought that Yoda's inclusion in that movie was fantastic. Um, he looked weird. because the puppet was kind of weird. But I thought like including the character and some of the things that he said and all that stuff was great. But yeah, I mean, just everything that we've seen Yoda in, he's been great, and I love the character, and yeah, as much as Anakin and Vader, you know, are great, I gotta go with Yoda. Like this one is one of those ones for me where it's like I chose Yoda today, but I could probably could have gone Vader or some or you know and
Mm-hmm.
Anakin another day, you know. So, but for now we're going Yoda. Mace Windu versus Darth Sidious. As much as I love Mace, you got to give it to Sidious because he is everything that we've talked about already. He's just the goat, man. He's the greatest of all time, dude. His whole the grand plan is unlike anything. Like he's for that alone, like even though like I said earlier that like Mason and Sidious fought in the duel and like Mace won, you know, in my opinion and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
just you have to take I take into consideration like everything these characters have been through, like all the whole, you know, throughout everything that we've seen them in, and like you know, it's really hard. It's really hard to like not choose Sidious slash Palpatine against anyone because this motherfucker has the absolute audacity to be in all three trilogies. I know I mentioned this earlier, but just the will of this old fucking fart and not wanting to die. He keeps coming back somehow, dude. He keeps living somehow throughout through cloning processes and force fucking dark magic or whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever he did. This motherfucker just keeps coming back, dude. Like he stays being around and and fucking he just loves fucking with the Skywalker family, dude, doesn't he? Like
Mm-hmm.
first Anakin, he fucking like grooms Anakin into becoming Vader basically. Then he fucks with, Luke. And then finally fucking Ben, Kylo, he messes with him too at the very end. It's like, damn, crazy. But yeah, Sidious over Windu. So first matchup Yoda, second matchup Sidious. Bastila versus Luke. This was a tough one because again, I love Bastila, but I've loved Luke Skywalker the character since I was a kid. So
Mm-hmm.
as much as Bastila is one of my favorites, again, I feel like Josh, if she were up against like somebody else in some of these matchups, she would have won.
Yeah,
But Luke, man, I gotta go with Luke. So
that's fair.
yeah. I'm sorry, Basil. I love you, but Luke wins. Dooku versus Maul. I'm on the same page as you. I went with Maul. Dooku again. I've talked about how I feel he's an underrated character and all this stuff. But Maul, since Phantom Menace, has become a fantastic character. Like some of the stuff in Siege of Mandalore, like the stuff in Rebels, like the stuff in even in Solo, his little cameo there, like just he's become like much more than just the dude they fight in Phantom Menace that looks cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had to go with Maul. Um, Ahsoka versus Din, very difficult choice, but I feel like as much as I love Din, I had to give the nod to Ahsoka here because just everything she's been through and just the history that she has and just every like Ahsoka. Yeah, I just had to give it to Ahsoka on this one. As much as I love Din, like it was a tough one. Like this one again, I probably could have chosen Din. Like I probably do this again tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm gonna choose Din. Or some
Yeah.
or like a week from now, I'd be like, I'll choose Din instead of Ahsoka. But today we're doing it now. I'm giving it to Ahsoka. Revan versus 3PO. I mean, I don't have to say anything other than Revan. Uh, Leia versus Kylo. The mom versus the son. As much as I like Kylo, I'm not a big fan of where they took his story and how they handled his character in the sequels and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, Kylo Ben, your run is done. Your mom gets the edge on this one. Leia over Kylo. R2 versus Obi-Wan is my final matchup. And as much as I like R2, you're going up against Obi-Wan. I'm sorry, R2. Obi-Wan is Obi-Wan. And yeah, I went with Obi-Wan. So
All right.
there we go. That's round two. It went a little bit quicker this time because we didn't have to explain as much.
Yes. So next up, I'm gonna read out
Round
my
three. We only
round
have four,
threes.
so this is gonna go quick as well.
Yeah. Um, Anakin Skywalker slash Vader versus Darth Sidious, the Master versus the Apprentice.
Oh
Um,
shit, that's gonna be a good one.
Luke Sky. Next, I have Luke Skywalker versus Darth Maul. That'd be interesting. After that, I have Din Djarin versus Revan from Knights of the Old Republic. And then
Oh
after
man.
that, I have Princess Leia versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who are your
Hmm.
matchups for round three, Daniel?
Um, my matchups for round three are Yoda versus Darth Sidious, Luke Skywalker versus Darth Maul, Ahsoka Tano versus Revan, and Leia versus Obi-Wan.
Interesting. All right, I'm going to hide my.
So let's make our picks and move through this round.
Hmm.
Okay, definitely going with
I'm gonna do
that.
some thinking on some of these, man.
Going with that. I knew right away on two of them, but the other two, I'm like, actually, oh man, that one. This is probably the toughest one for me.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my final matchups. I've made my picks. I'm looking at my final matchups, and it's like
I made my picks as well.
I'd watch this movie.
All right, so we've made our picks.
All right. Uh, the same thing as last time. I go, you go, or no? Yeah, I started
Yeah.
last time. You start this time.
Okay, so I'll start this time. So we have Yoda versus Sidious. This is a tough one. Obviously, you have the big bad versus the big good, and we have actually seen these two fight it out in the movie. They fought each other in Revenge of the Sith, and technically, Sidious won that fight because Yoda had to bail and go into exile.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I am going with Yoda. As great and as as amazing as Sidious is with all of his stuff, again, it's like it's hard to go against Sidious because of everything he's accomplished. I just Yoda is Yoda. Like I don't know, like hard. It's just like I don't know what other way to describe it. Like I've explained a lot, but just to keep it simple, I'm just Yoda over Sidious for me. So that was my first matchup. That was the hardest one though. Like I was like, damn, these two are both fantastic characters. What am I gonna go with? But ultimately, if I have to choose, I'm going with Yoda. Next up is Luke versus Maul. I like Maul a lot, but Luke is Luke. I'm sorry, Maul. I never dressed up as you for Halloween, so Luke Skywalker it is. The green lives on, which is funny because Yoda also has a green lightsaber. Green versus green next round. But anyway, next matchup: Ahsoka Tano versus Revan. I love Ahsoka, and I've explained everything about her, but you're going up against Revan here, so I had to go with Revan. Revan over Ahsoka. It was a doozy of a choice, but just got to go with Revan, man.
Hey, that's fair.
And then final matchup for me, I have Leia versus Obi Wan. Um, we said all the great things about Leia, but for me, this is where her run ends. Obi Wan is Obi Wan, uh, and that's who I chose. So I'm sorry, Leia, you're amazing, but this is how brackets go, man. You have to at some point you have to get rid of the greats, and we've been doing that already.
Yeah. Somebody's
So
gonna get
yeah.
picked, and somebody's gonna
So
not get picked.
so to recap, Yoda versus Sidious, Yoda. Luke versus Maul, Luke. Ahsoka versus Revan, Revan. Leia versus Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan. Those are my choices.
All right. So I have on screen uh, Anakin Skywalker versus Darth Sidious. Ended up going with Vader here. Um, uh, in the original trilogy, Vader is like that commanding presence that you meet first before you ever see Sidious. And I think that's kind of having an influence on my decision making here. He's just so kind of intimidating and just a badass and terrifying in those early movies. So I ended up going with Vader Anakin here.
Makes
Next up, I
sense.
had Luke Skywalker versus Darth Maul. No offense, Maul. I love you, Maul, but I ended up going with Luke. Um, after that, I had Din Djarin versus Revan from Knights of the Old Republic. Ended up going with Revan because I mean it's Knights of the Old Republic, and I love Mandalorian and I love Din, but Revan edges him out for me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last matchup, Leia against Obi Wan Kenobi, was like a no contest, like Obi Wan all the way. Um,
Yeah.
still, I love Leia and all that, but um, it's it's great. So to recap, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Sidious. I went with Anakin Skywalker slash Vader. Next up, Luke Skywalker versus Darth Maul. Ended up going with Luke Skywalker. Next, I had Din Djarin versus Revan. I ended up going with Revan. And for the final match, I had Princess Leia versus Obi Wan Kenobi. Um, which
All
means
right.
my final rounds
Mm-hmm. Your
are
final
gonna
two.
be yeah are gonna be Anakin Skywalker versus Luke Skywalker, father
Ooh,
versus
father
son.
versus son. Oh, damn. Okay.
That's a story, man.
That's a pay-per-view right there, man.
And yeah, absolutely it is. And then after that, I have Revan versus Obi Wan Kenobi.
Oh,
That's
damn.
another matchup that's insane to me.
Yeah, like that's yeah. So mine's are pretty similar. I have Yoda versus Luke instead of Anakin or Vader.
Mm-hmm.
So Yoda versus Luke, and then yeah, Revan versus Obi-Wan. Those are my last two.
All right, let's make our picks.
Let's do
I'm gonna have to
it.
think on a couple of these on these
I
last
mean,
2 minutes.
it's just the last two, man. Yeah.
I have to think on them. It's hard. It's hard picks. Mm,
Fucking brackets, man. They're fun, but
uh,
damn. But damn. All right, my picks are in.
my picks are in. I'll start off this time, I guess.
Yep, let's do it.
For my first matchup of this round, I had Anakin Skywalker slash Vader versus Luke Skywalker. Ended up going with Luke, man. He redeems his father in the end and emerges victorious.
He wins again.
And then I had Revan versus Obi Wan Kenobi. I had to think a minute on it, but Revan ultimately wins out here
Okay.
against Obi Wan, which I still love Obi Wan Kenobi, man. Hello there and all that. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who do you have,
All
Daniel,
right.
as your
So
final two?
my first matchup was Yoda versus Luke, and I uh, this is a tough one because you have the Master and the Apprentice. You got
Mm-hmm.
Yoda and Luke, but I had to go with Luke, man. Like as great as Yoda is, like Luke is. Some would consider Luke to be the chosen one. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan considered Luke to be the chosen one. Like what's funny is like everybody has their own version of who the chosen one is. Like I'm pretty sure, people thought Anakin was it. Obi or Obi-Wan thought Luke was it. Luke thought Kylo was it, like everybody thought somebody was it, which is
Mm-hmm.
funny. But yeah, no, I had to choose Luke. Like I mean for every reason that I explained earlier, like Luke is just to me like he's a very special character to me and like again it's always the Return of the Jedi slash Mandalorian version, with the all black and the green saber and like
Yeah.
that's my Luke. That is 100% my Luke Skywalker. So whenever I mention Luke, that's what I think of. So in this throughout this whole bracket, that's who I've been thinking of, like you know, because I mean like if you were to pair up like specific versions of these characters, like for example, you have Phantom Menace Darth Maul versus, uh Attack of the Clones Dooku, or like, you have, Empire Strikes Back Luke, or this, like if like I like Luke, but if you paired up the Empire version of him versus, like, I don't know, just name a character, another random character, it would have to depend, because like Luke and Empire is not on the level of Jedi Luke, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're gonna go into that specific, like, it'd have to depend. But since we're just doing like overall general characters and stuff, yeah, Return of the Jedi Luke, the all black, green, that's the one I'm thinking of. But anyway, I got out of hand here a little bit. Yoda versus Luke, I definitely go with Luke. And then Revan versus Obi-Wan, this is a tough one, but I feel that, again, given the history and the just everything that we've had with these characters, I'm going with Obi-Wan over Revan. So I'm choosing Obi-Wan Kenobi
Hey,
over Revan. As much as
fair
I love
enough.
Revan, Obi-Wan is my guy. So for my championship match, or the final thing, I have Luke versus Obi-Wan.
Fair enough. All right, let's do our final pick.
All right. Let's do it, man. Final one. This is it. The grand finale.
All right, my pick's in.
Same.
All right. Who'd you we can just kind of reveal at the same time, I guess. Who'd you go with, Daniel? And I'll put mine up on screen.
All right. This is a tough choice. I have two of my favorite characters of all time here. Between Luke and Obi-Wan, but ultimately, I given the way that the two characters like match up with where they start to where they end, canonically, I have to choose, for me it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that is my champion, Obi-Wan over Luke for me. And I
Fair
see that
enough.
Josh went with Luke.
I went with Luke Skywalker over my other choice, of which was Revan.
There you go,
Um,
man.
I love Revan. He has absolutely. They have one of the absolute coolest stories in all of Star Wars. You are in the game, and you are those characters.
Hmm.
So that's why he made it this far. But Luke was my introduction to Star Wars. Luke was the first character that I connect with as a kid growing up, and ultimately that's what he wins out with right there, man. Like, um, Revan is me if I was in Star Wars, but Luke is who got me into Star Wars. So that's ultimately why I ended up picking Luke over Revan at the end there.
All right. So solid choice either way, I think. But yeah,
Yeah. All right, we did it.
we did it. Yeah. So
Final rounds.
Josh's champion is Luke, and mine is Obi-Wan. So there you go.
Interesting how I like how we ended up here, man.
Yeah.
We ended up with
It was
completely different winners, and I had some
it was
similar choices. That's
it
cool.
was pretty similar, like, choices and the options, but yeah, it ended differently, which is cool.
Yeah. Um. So basically, what this was, because I see we have some newcomers in the chat, was we picked a bunch of random popular Star Wars characters, 32 to be exact. We put them in here and randomized them,
I put them in a
and then
randomizer, and then we got
we
some
just
matchups, and we just
we
go
picked
through
our
it.
favorites. Yeah, we go through it. We talk about why we did it, and uh, so we pick an ultimate winner of why we got into Star Wars, or why we like that character and how they got here.
And there we
And
go. We made it
it's
to the
fun.
end, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, Josh. Another bracket done, my friend.
Another bracket done. I like brackets. They're fun. Mark as complete. All right. There it is. So, for those of you that want to know the bracket, I'm going to give you a blank version in Daniel's Discord in the Clockwork channel. I'm also going to post my results in there. I'm sure Daniel will post his in there as well. Um, but other than that, that's going to be a show. Let's do our shout outs, shall we, Daniel? You are going to be up
Ciao.
first. You're up.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on today's episode of the Clockwork Cantina, episode 73, our Star Wars bracket edition. I'm sure we'll do another one of these next year, probably, with different characters. It was a lot of fun. I always enjoy doing these brackets, no matter how difficult it may be to decide at times. Um, but yeah, it was a good time. We'll be back next week, of course, where we will be talking about our 2-year anniversary. The Clockwork Cantina is turning 2 years old. Can
Yeah.
you guys believe it? That's crazy, man. So yeah, we're gonna be just doing a 2-year anniversary show next week. I kind of, it's weird because like part of me is like I can't believe it, but at the same time I'm like it's definitely felt like it's been like 2 years. It's weird. It's a weird thing, but I'm excited, man. We've come this far. It'll be episode 74 next week. We're almost at the 75 mark. I mean, I don't want to say we're approaching 100 because we still got a few, but I mean, we're gonna get there at some point. We're getting closer. So yeah, next week will be the 2-year anniversary show, and then yeah, we'll follow us and tweet at us, and hit us up on all the socials and all that good stuff. Um, what else was I gonna say? Oh, on stream for me, I will be continuing my first time playthrough of Mass Effect. Uh, I'm gonna be playing some more tomorrow, at the usual time of 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to see somebody play Mass Effect for the very, very first time, like I've never played it ever, check it out. Check me out. I'm playing it tomorrow. So yeah, be there. Come hang out. Have a good time. We'll be doing that tomorrow, and then probably every Wednesday and the other days, so that's gonna be fun. I think that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for hanging out. Feel free to fill out your own bracket and let us know what your choices are. I'm curious because everybody has different characters, so I'm curious to see what you guys have. But anyway, yeah, thank you. Peace out, everybody. See you all next week. Have a great week. Bye bye.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Um, Even though we were short on news, we still went 3.5 hours with this bracket. So it's good
Yeah,
that we were
dude.
short on news, man.
I thought it was gonna be a shorter episode, but damn, yeah, I guess you're right. It's a good thing that we didn't have a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah, I figured when we do the brackets, because we usually we kind of go in depth on when we make the choices that we do. I thought it might end up being about normal. It actually went above and beyond normal for us, so that's good. Um, Guys, if you like the brackets or any of the previous Cantina content, we appreciate you. Please hit the follow button on the channel. Go subscribe to Daniel on the YouTube. Follow us on Spotify if you're an audio listener. It's out there. Just search up the Clockwork Cantina and we'll come right up, I'm sure. Um, Coming up, I might stream in a couple hours. I may come back and play some more Mass Effect. So if you want to see somebody that has played Mass Effect previously and is playing it again, uh, come back in a little while. I might be here. I need to get food and stuff first. Um, Also, the brackets will be put in the Cantina, Clockwork Cantina channel on the Daniel's Discord. So make sure to go and join that. Um, and finally, um, 2-year anniversary next week. 2 years. That's so crazy to me. Um, we're gonna do a giveaway in the chat for something next week. I don't know what yet. I haven't quite decided yet. Um, but it'll probably be a gift card or something, just because that's the easiest way to get somebody something on stream. So, um, we will do one of those in the chat at some point during next week's show, and I will hook you up with it. So make sure to come by and check that out. You have 1 week to remember. Come next week if you want a shot at the prize. Um, and make sure you're following the channel and stuff, because we appreciate that. Other than that, guys, that's gonna do it for our show, and we will see you all next time. Bye bye.